Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
A good Wednesday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout, presented by Hoots Hard Ice Tea, a Boulder Real Brew Tea. Don't give a hoot, give two. Matt Iwanyk, Shawn Belle, Zachticum with you here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Tune in, iHeartRadio, as well as Edmonton Sports Talk YouTube channel. Will Fraser was supposed to be here today, but he texted me this morning he's sick, so get better, Will. I know you're not watching right now, because you'd never probably watch, but get better. I guarantee he never throws us off. I guarantee it that he's never once actually gone to our YouTube or audio stream to press play. And that's why I love Will Fraser.
I hope he just texts you at some point and be like, yeah, I'm watching, just to throw it in your face. It's probably the one time he feels bad and he's going to watch it now.
Just to see how it goes.
Yeah. Just to see.
And I just made fun of him, so now he's hurt. No, I know Will. He is not throwing on this station at all.
Oh, too much.
Oh, lots to get to today on the show. We've got qualifying opportunity to the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival on the Friday to Andrew Schultz and Shane Gillis, which is completely sold out. GreatOutdoorsComedyFestival.com for more information on that, for tickets to the Saturday and Sunday at the very least. Alacat, the official beer of the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival. Also, Eric dropped off Copa America stickers for me. So hockey does trading cards, sports do trading cards. Soccer, for big events, they do stickers. And you get your book, and you collect your stickers, and you put them in your book. So
it's cute.
He dropped off my 5 stickers, and I'm very excited to open these up and do them. When the World Cup came a couple of years ago, I went out and I tried collecting as many Canadians as I could. I think I pulled an Alfonso. I did pull an Alfonso, which made me very excited. And then the great part afterwards is you could just buy them. When the tournament starts, you can just go and buy whatever you need. So I have all the Canadians from that time that I didn't collect. But
the only thing I don't like about the stickers is that, like, a trading card, you get some value down the road. Like, at some point, the sticker's going to rip, no?
Well, I guess you could not open it, like peel it and put it on and put it in plastic.
Yeah, I mean, you could.
If you, I don't know, it's not about the value. It's about just the fun of going out trying to get that card.
I wonder how much
Is
they
it like
are worth,
catching
though.
Pokemon, Maddie?
Hey, those aren't even stickers.
But they're Canadians.
Yes, they are.
They're Canadians. This is one of my favorite. It's about Canada. You not Canadian? Do you not like Canada?
Oh, I like that. I like that comeback. That's a good one.
I used to do Bear Sports Hits with the boys, and my bit was I would always just try to talk soccer. And they would want to get me off soccer, talking hockey or something. And I always would pull that out. I'd talk about Canada. Like, what? Why do you hate Canada? Toby Warren, why are you against Canada? They're like, this has nothing to do with Canada. I'm like, absolutely. So that's where I'll just go with that.
Yeah, I like it. It's good.
I'm trying to collect their Canadian boys. Got to catch them all.
Gotta
Go
catch 'em
Canada.
all.
I remember opening a FC Edmonton pack. I don't think it was a sticker pack, though, but my auntie gave it to me one time. And you know, I played soccer when I was 6, 7, 8, and whatever. I didn't really watch soccer, and I almost didn't know. Like, I knew Edmonton had a soccer team at the time, but I remember getting the full card pack, and it was a full team card pack. So I don't know if that's, you know, more international where they do the stickers, or even with North America if they carry over the same tradition, or is it just sports cards?
Yeah, like you said, like they just had every player in there.
Yeah,
that's just like a promotional giveaway type thing that sometimes they do. A lot of lower end teams kind of do that.
Yeah.
Like not like major, like the Oilers aren't grabbing a full list of all their players and putting them in a pack to give to their fans. You might get that in baseball majors. You might have that as a promotional
I was going
thing.
to throw a chirp out there, but I was like, let's not do that today.
Why not? Chirp against
the Oilers won.
The Oilers did win.
So I'm not going to throw any chirps out.
Let's get to the Hangout headlines, which is brought to you by the Ranch Golf and Country Club, offering premier conditions, top-notch service, unmatched value. The place to go for your golf rounds this season. Book your tee time, theranchgolf.com. Calvin Pickard, the savior of this team.
My boy, Cal Pickard.
Just found out before we came on the Hangout, you were roommates with Pickard.
We were roommates in Colorado. So he was he just finished his junior season. I just got traded from Edmonton to Colorado. We were both down in the minors at the time. And we stayed together in the same hotel room. Marriott extended stay with David Oliver.
Oh, okay.
former Edmonton Oiler. He was the GM of Lake Erie Monsters, and it was an interesting time with him. But he's a great kid. He was a great kid. Now he's obviously
he's not a kid anymore.
He's not a kid anymore. He's an unbelievable teammate though, and seeing his success is fantastic.
What did you make of the Oilers play yesterday overall, all around, with Calvin Pickard and net? It seemed like they came out, they brought out the intensity and physicality right off the bat. Mm-hmm. They had the energy. They were buzzing. They were stronger defensively, I would say, as a team. What did you make of just everything
I
from the
thought
Oilers?
they were much better. There was some calm in their game. There was intensity in their game. I thought they were physical. I thought they were hard on the guys that needed to be hit. I thought they outworked the Canucks for majority of the game. As soon as the Canucks scored that first goal, I was a little bit nervous just because you could see they were starting to hold on a little bit, and they just didn't have it. Then Vancouver had a really good push, obviously. But what I liked about it is that the Oilers didn't quit. They just kept playing. And all of a sudden they score their goal late in the third period, and they go on to win. So actually, it was good effort. It was really good effort, and that's the one that you're going to have to see again tomorrow, but probably another step up, to be honest with you, because you know that Vancouver, going back to Vancouver, raucous crowd. Vancouver plays hard, especially in their own building. So make sure that I don't like saying the cliche of weather the storm, because I feel like you just got to go in there and try to do it yourself. Like, let's get this crowd out of there, and that's going to be an important part of it. But you can't shy away from the physicality. You got to continue with it. I mean, that's how they scored that last goal. Kane buried a guy in the forecheck. They got the turnover, and then all of a sudden it's in the back of the net.
I really like the Corey Perry stick in the face.
It was the greatest thing I've ever seen.
That was the best part of the game.
That was classic.
That's what you
worm.
want from Corey Perry.
Yep.
That's exactly, like, if you imagine what would you get from Corey Perry when he signed with the Oilers, it's a situation like that.
Yeah. It's like, I'll do it.
And it's just the perfect taunt that you can ask for. How was postgame last night?
Oh, it was good. There was a lot of people buzzing. Even, more so in the pregame, there were a lot of Canucks fans in the nasty chat trying to chirp the Oilers, and some trickled in after the game for posts, but not as many.
Well, because I jumped in. I didn't jump in the nasty chat last night because after the game 3 win for the Oilers, it was a game 3, no, game 2 win. They won game 2, yeah. I went in, there was no Vancouver Canucks fans. And even some Oilers, people in the nast were like, we're the Canucks trolls now. And no one came out, so I didn't have to mute anyone. I didn't have to kick anyone out. And then whenever the Oilers lose, the Canucks fans have come in and it's caused the issues, and I've kicked people out. But I was like, well, last night the Canucks fans aren't going to come in, so too bad that a few came in, because I would have kicked some people. I'll say this: I don't care that Canucks fans come into the nasty chat, jump all in all you want. Just don't take it too far. Once you cross the line, then I'm going to boot you. Also, be more creative.
Yeah,
too many of them are coming in just going, Oilers suck. Cool. Well done.
Yeah, you got to get your chirping. Well, it's that song that they had, right? Like, McDavid sucks, Draisaitl sucks, Oilers suck.
Give me some. Let me laugh. Let me see them be like, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Well done. I respect that. Don't come. I
agree.
Oilers suck. McDavid suck. McEffer was one. That one I kicked. I was like, well, you're not. This is sad.
Crybaby was one I saw.
Yeah, it's
at least if you're gonna do that one, at least get on there, make a meme or something, figure something out. Then I'll have a good chuckle at that.
Exactly.
I saw one the other day when McDavid was talking to the refs after game 3, and it was this is he was mic'd up. This is leaked footage, and it was just a baby crying. I had a good laugh at that one. I'm like, yeah, that's creative. Good.
We have to go props. Well done.
It was really good.
You got it.
Yeah.
Do that. Don't just come in with Oilers suck. I can't. Kate, thanks for chiming in.
Well, I think my favorite chat didn't even come from a Vancouver Canucks fan or an Oilers fan. This guy named Matthew Austins was in the chat, and he said, wow, I just want both of these teams to lose, or one of these teams to join me on the golf course. Because he's a Leafs fan. So.
Yeah, these ones are always tough.
The Leafs fans.
When you're the other
you just feel
teams.
sad for them. They're little puppy dogs. So you just pat them on the head. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not even sorry. It's just go away.
Just beat it.
Go away. It's I'm glad Murray's not here today because part of it is they do a lot of talking for not a lot of winning.
Facts.
Right?
Absolute
And at least
facts.
with the Cowboys, they won in the 90s, so I could give them that. But it's like, I'll throw the Knicks in there, even though I am cheering for the Knicks because of Josh Clausen, and I love the story of them on this run right now. Up 3-2 in their series. But it's like the Knicks, when was the last time they won a title? And we all talk about them as this massive franchise, as if they've...
It's only because it's New York. That's the only reason
Exactly. But it's like we talk about them as if they're the Celtics or the Lakers who have won multiple titles. Leafs, they haven't won since expansion. And the fans talk as if they've done more. And that's where it's just... I don't have sympathy because you guys talk too much. Go
just
away.
Center of the universe complex, right? Like, we're the biggest city in Canada by far. We're... one of the biggest cities in North America. Sports runs through here. We got all the majors, the major sports. They all come through here. We're the best. Okay, that's nice. But you haven't won anything.
And it's not even winning cups. Like winning playoff series, That's like, they're not even having a lot of those. That's the issue here. Like, we're not even talking about that. Like, well, they got to the Stanley Cup finals and lost. Like, when was the last time that one happened?
They're just sitting here planning on dismantling their team.
What else do they do? Really? Like, they can't run it back because they've tried that for years now.
They might have to.
They might have to.
No
but
move clauses. They might have to.
But they're actively searching Marner trade. It's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah. Well, good thing for the Oilers is that they won last night, because otherwise the Oilers would be getting closer to, can you run this back? Though, like, I saw something. This one surprised me. Look, I was one that said I would start Stuart Skinner last night. I was very impressed that Chris Knobloch went the other way. That's a bold move.
Yes, it is.
And it paid off for the Edmonton Oilers. But then I saw some people saying, well, now you go to Pickard. Or, Skinner.
You go back to him?
You go back to
No,
Skinner.
you
For game,
don't.
and we had it in two guys. It was like, well, would there be a plan that you go Pickard game 4 and you plan for Skinner game 5?
Nope.
And me and Gage were like, not a chance.
No.
He will deserve all criticism if Chris Knobloch goes to Stuart Skinner for game 5. Because you just won a game with Calvin Pickard. You don't pull him out. It's his net now.
Yeah.
Until if he loses a game, or at some point, I don't want to say when, if he does actually lose a game, because maybe he doesn't. That's when you decide what you do next. But until then, there's no reason that there should be a goaltending conversation in terms of who starts game 5.
I don't disagree with you. However, Sid Sixero
No.
decided to post something the other day, and he goes, you have McDavid and Draisaitl in their prime, ...
Okay.
And a first ever playoff start for Calvin Pickard is the move. Wow. I kind of sit there and I'm like, okay, I understand where you're coming from. And like, these guys are obviously the best players in the league, or arguably the best players in the league. And we're at a situation where the goaltending hasn't been great. But like, if you're the Oilers and you're Knobloch, like, here's the cards that I'm dealt. I need to figure it out. So do what you need to do. So Sid Sixero, like, you might need to worry about, I don't know, the Leafs. Maybe not trying to put gasoline on the fire over here. Teams that are still not on the golf course. Just saying.
I like Sid on TV. I hate him on Twitter.
Yeah, he is wicked on TV.
It was Tim and Sid. They were amazing. I loved get him on radio guests. We had him a few times prior to being TSN. We had him on the Team 1260. He was fantastic as a guest. On Twitter, he sucks. He was the one that said McDavid's not going to take much more of this when the Oilers weren't making the playoffs. And
Either is Matthews.
Well, that's now every Oiler fan, I think, quote tweets that or recreates that as like, Austin Matthews isn't going to take much more of this. Yes, it's not good. Like, Oiler fans could tell you right now that the goaltending, there's a lot that would say the goaltending situation wasn't good enough and stuff under the McDavid and Leon era. In the end, they're in the second round.
Yep.
In the end, it was a 2-1 series going into last night. And it's not like the Oilers didn't try to do better for goaltending. It failed. Ken Holland failed on his attempts, but they tried. And the other part is Calvin Pickard did come in and solidify the net this year.
Yeah, he's been great.
When it was November, December, if we all sat
And
here...
it was looking real bleak out there.
But if we sat here and said, what is the number one thing the Oilers need to do at the deadline? We all would have said you need to fix goaltending.
Yep.
And then by the time the deadline came, goaltending dropped quite a bit down that list as, hey, maybe you could go get it if it's there, but for the most part, we're going to leave it. because of, well, one, how Stuart Skinner really played well.
Yep.
But Calvin Pickard solidified the backup position and overall the entire net. And so, I don't know, as other people have pointed out, Aiden Hill came in now that was due to injury, but took the Golden Knights to a Stanley Cup.
Yes, he did.
We've seen this. I'll go back. I'm not saying Calvin Pickard's going to be him, but Cam Ward in 06 wasn't the starter for the Carolina Hurricanes. He came in after a very poor start. I forgot who the goalie was, but rough start. He came in and he ran the net.
Yep.
You know, like you just need a goalie to get hot at the right time. So, like, is he tweeting anything today now?
Not a
That's
chance.
the problem I have too with these hot takes on Twitter.
Yeah.
Is like, at least come on. If you're going to be that hot take-ish, like,
You might as well back it up.
either
If you're going to walk it, that's fine.
or sit there and say, you know, hey, Calvin Pickard played well.
Yeah.
Props to Pickard.
Yeah, you got to acknowledge it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
Like,
I'd agree with that.
see, bringing up Aiden Hill on the broadcast, they showed that the stats were eerily similar between Aiden Hill
Yes.
and now Calvin Pickard. Like,
In terms of like during the
games
regular
played,
season, Really?
wins, like
Yeah.
in career and goals against, like everything, just all the way down to the nitty gritty. And you know, this is the first time since I think back in the like Sheloffs and Pickard actually played each other before.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was in game 2 of Abbotsford versus Bakersfield Condors a few years back, and I don't know to come in here. I think it was a game or a similar situation to last year where was it to play Jack Campbell
Yeah.
or was it to start Stuart Skinner again? So back then I thought you got to switch the goalie. You can't really trust Stuart Skinner, and he's proven unfortunately that he can't really be that reliable in net to make the saves that he has to, at least in the postseason. And I feel like you have to continue rolling Pickard, but I don't know if Pickard is taking this net, how do you go back to Stuart Skinner?
I don't think he can. Not if he's going to continue to make, good saves. Like it wasn't that he lights out. He just made the saves that he needed to make. And for an Oiler team, like I think we've actually been talking about this almost the entirety of the year about their goaltending is just, we don't need you to win it. Just need you to make the required saves. Just make the saves that you need to make and call it a day. And with Pickard, like that's literally what you got. So it was good. And I think they did tighten up defensively. They weren't bleeding chances until later in the game where, they got hemmed in their zone a little bit. But I mean, for the most part, they played a really good game. And it was a little bit more similar to, to the games that they played against the Kings where they were tight defensively and then they got their chances when they needed to. They were opportunistic. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a good way to play. Just make sure you're tight defensively. Don't give up bad chances. Don't turn over the puck. That's a crazy recipe.
No, at a couple moments in, I think it was the second period, there was a couple slot opportunities, grade A chances for the Canucks, but they missed the net, then missed the mark, and then it was a block shot here and there. And it kind of forced, the Oilers kind of forced the Canucks to try and fire it off quick. They protected the net well, like they broke down right in front and let Pickard make the saves that he had to instead of trying to screen him or whatever. They were playing noticeably different in that way because
there was layers to their defense, and anytime a Canuck made a play, they had to go through another layer. And when they had the opportunities, just like you mentioned, guys were laying down to block shots. They're making it difficult to get shots through, and that's what you have to do in the playoffs. You have to be willing to sacrifice your body to block that one shot, because that one shot might be the difference in you winning or losing. Because in the playoffs, the margins of error are extremely small, and teams are super opportunistic, and that's what happens. Like those are the differences in the games outside of maybe the Oilers with their power play, but everybody else is kind of like, okay, well, that one mistake, boom, we're going to capitalize on it, we win the game. Or that might be the turning point where you get more momentum back. I mean, I don't remember off the top of my head the first goal, but it was a lucky bounce, and then all of a sudden you could just see that momentum switch to the Canucks side, and they just hemmed the Oilers in for like minutes on end. So like that's what the playoffs is, and you just have to be able to either weather that storm or be very opportunistic and play tight defensively. So It was good. We'll hopefully see that again.
Well,
tomorrow.
I think you're right that also like the Oilers have to be even better for tomorrow's game because like the Canucks, they missed chances. Zach was talking about the missed nets. You know, there was a lot of those. You know, they had a 4-minute power play. I think in the end, I think they got credited with one shot maybe by the end of that 4-minute power play. Like
it was good.
They were
PK was
the
good.
PK was great. The Canucks power play just couldn't get anything going. I wouldn't expect that again. And I think the Canucks will be a little sharper in the next game, which means the Oilers, you got to be a little sharper too to stay just above them.
Yep.
And that's going to be fascinating to watch. And yeah, Pickard, he did what they needed to. And I think this is how I thought about it when he was getting called up. Like, here's a guy that he's got another chance to be an NHLer. Is he going to take that opportunity and run with it?
Yep.
I wonder that's probably the same mentality he has right now. Like, don't think at the start of this hockey season, Calvin Pickard thought he was going to be needed to be the starting goalie for the Edmonton Oilers in the playoffs.
It's unreal.
And now it's there, and do you want to give up this net? Because you lose a hockey game, you give up this net. So, like, you know he's going to be completely dialed in, or you'd hope to keep that net because he wasn't expecting this opportunity and take the bulls by the horns, as they would say.
Yep. From the young kid.
From
At the Marriott Extended Stay
the flip
where we are now.
The flip side to all this, though, too, is that this could be unbelievably great for Stuart Skinner because if Calvin Pickard, let's say, the Oilers lose a close one tomorrow, and Chris Knobloch says, "You want to? We're going to go back to Skinner and see what happens." They know that they could trust Pickard a little bit.
Yep.
He knows that they could trust Pickard a little bit. Well, now, do you want that net or not? Go get that net. And I sometimes feel like Skinner has been at his best sometimes when he is being pushed.
Challenged. Yep. Yeah.
And now there's that full real push in the playoffs. So maybe this is a thing to that. If there's a moment where Chris Knobloch needs to go back to Skinner, and I don't know what Chris Knobloch's thinking that moment will be. I don't think it's going to be for tomorrow. I'd be stunned if it's for tomorrow.
Yeah.
But maybe it's after just one loss for Pickard, or maybe it's Pickard has to play very poor. Whatever it might be, I would expect that Stuart Skinner will go in ready to try to earn that net back and be a different goalie.
Isn't it interesting, like how Skinner, his game has kind of changed in the playoffs? Like I'm trying to figure out what it is because, and I understand that pro was not junior, but in junior he went on a pretty legitimate run where he was lights out in Swift Current's run to the WHL championship. Lights out. In pro, he was pretty good in the playoffs. And now we're here, and maybe it's just the stage is too big. Like, I don't know, because this is the second year that he's kind of gone into this. And it's, he's a big goaltender, but he's not challenging like big goaltenders do. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird situation. And I thought I heard somebody talking about anxiety, but once again, I understand that this is not junior hockey, but the pressure is the same. Like, it is. If you're in the WHL championship as an organization at that point in your life, the pressure is massive. You want to win. You're still filling out buildings. Maybe it's not 18,000, but maybe it's 10,000. You're still filling out those buildings. So that pressure to perform is still there because you're trying to now make the jump to the NHL. So that pressure is massive. You come here, now obviously you're a professional and you're playing, you're starting goaltender for the Oilers, and the pressure in this city is it's massive as well, and it's you have to perform. But it's curious how it's gone the other way.
I don't want to misquote Gager, so if I do, he'll come in tomorrow and correct me on all this. But I think at moments in the season when he's come on and talked about Skinner having a rough game or something, it will be that he says that Skinner is like he says when Skinner's playing well, he reads the game well. He can see it. He can anticipate really well. When he lets in that one bad goal or whatever, and he gets off of that, and he's too focused on, okay, I need to make that next save. I need to make that next save. Yeah. And that gets into his head, and then he gets off of his game, and he's not reading the game as well because he's too focused. I just need to make that next save.
Yeah.
And I wonder if the playoffs come and Stuart Skinner he goes, this is supposed to be a Stanley Cup winning team. I need to be great.
Yeah.
I need to come out and be great. And that takes him off of his game where he's not being able to read the game as well. And that's what's getting to him through these last two playoffs.
Yeah.
Because they haven't been good enough. And that's where, I don't know how much longer you could go with this guy as a main starter without questioning whether he could be a playoff goalie. Like maybe he's just a great regular season goalie. Like to me, next year kind of would be last kick of the can. If the Oilers make the playoffs and he's your goalie and he plays poorly, that'd be 3 straight. I don't know how much you could trust him. That I'll say this right now, that might play into Canada's decision making of whether you'd want to bring him to the Olympics.
If this is a guy on that list,
it was Aiden Hill, him, and Binnington. I think is the kind of the 3 we're looking at for Team Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're the Team Canada management team, if you're watching his playoffs, is he a guy that like, oh, do we want him here? Or they might be forced to.
Well, he probably ends up becoming in the 3rd goaltender.
But right, so instead of challenging for the net, he's the guy sitting in the press box.
It's wild.
To throw a stat out there, I saw yesterday with minimum 20 games played since the lockout, Stuart Skinner has the worst save percentage, .881 save percentage since the 2005 lockout in the playoffs. So that's pretty big. Like he's never really performed well, and when he wins games, he doesn't win them really well. He had that shutout against the LA Kings, sure, but
that's when but one of the big praises for that game was
him.
Well, it was also he finally did it.
Yeah.
He finally did that.
That was almost like his coming out because in that game, he legitimately stole the game. He was that good.
And so people thought, okay, finally after last year, and then look, he did it. And then he hasn't been able to keep that going. The weird part, though, about that stat is I'd have to go back and watch every goal. I do maintain that he hasn't been terrible.
I don't think he's been terrible.
He just hasn't been good.
Yeah, he just hasn't made the required saves that he needs to.
But then you hear the stat of the worst save percentage in the Cap era. That's terrible. Like that is. But I do feel like some of those, like, it's not that some of the goals he let in, like, I feel like they're sometimes just not, the team is completely broken down in front of him and there's not much he could do. The issue I've had mostly is that he just doesn't make that save when you really need one. When you have that turnover at the blue line or something, not bailing out his team with the big save.
Yeah.
That's the issue I've had with Stuart Skinner in the playoffs. And but then, Calvin Pickard, great last night. Team, great last night. And now we're in a best-of-3 series. And do you guys like the Oilers' chances of taking one in Vancouver?
I do. Yep.
I feel like, if they start Pickard, they'll have a lot more of a chance going into Vancouver to steal a win and bring it back and take the lead. Because honestly, if they started Stuart Skinner in net last night, I would have been worried for the Oilers' chances a lot more than with starting Calvin Pickard.
Really?
So
because I'm not gonna. I get the worry of Stuart Skinner. I'm not trying to say you shouldn't be worried about Stuart Skinner. I thought he would have produced well in the net. Because this season, I think he's 9-1 or something after a loss. But I've never seen Pickard in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that was I needed to see the first 10 minutes. I was worried through those, but that's fascinating. But I'm sure there's a lot of other fans like you that would agree that they were probably less worried with Pickard in net than Skinner.
I don't know. Now it's so weird. Goaltending is such a wild card because you get this guy like Artur Shilovs, who's 6th round pick. He comes out of nowhere, boom, in the net. Of course, Aiden Hill, and then Jake Ottinger that one season as well. I guess he could go back, Andrew Heyman or something.
Shilovs wasn't really out of nowhere because he was he had an unbelievable world championship, so it was kind of his coming out party. So he's not.
He was the MVP of the tournament.
He wasn't out of nowhere. They've got a deep system with the goaltenders in
Vancouver. Has done an unreal job with goaltending.
Yes, they have.
If them and Nashville to me are the two organizations, if there's a goalie coming up and they make a move with goaltending, I'd still be worried. Because you go back, they had Markstrom, they have Demko, now there's Shilovs. Before they had Corey Schneider.
Yeah.
They seem to always have.
And DeSmith is no slouch either.
DeSmith. They've gone and, they made the move to get Luongo. Now, I guess that's not everyone wanted Luongo kind of at that time, but they always seem to have the goaltending. They had the Luongo and Corey Schneider together, both gone at one point, and they still had goaltending. They just always seem to find goaltending. Where the Oilers are the opposite. They're more like the Flyers and always struggling to find goaltending, it seems.
So here's Stuart Skinner. Okay, so all of his postseason, I'll just go back to Swift Current. He played 26 games. So it's 17-8, Stuart Skinner. Okay. 17-18, you got traded to Swift Current. He played 26 games in in the playoffs. Okay. 2.20 goals against, 932. Goes to Bakersfield the next year, plays 4 games in the playoffs, 2.39 with a 918. These are legit numbers. Scroll down, miss a year. Bakersfield again, 2.68 with 907. Played 6 games. Bakersfield the next year, 5 games, 2.82 with a 911. And now you get into the Edmonton Oilers years, and it's 12 games, 3.68 with an 883. And then obviously this year. Something's happened.
Like
Tommy had the great tweet yesterday, by the way, of if anyone didn't see it, Sam Gagner giving a little pep talk to Stuart Skinner on the bench after practice.
Gagner
really
might be
cool
one
to
of the
see.
best human beings ever.
Yeah.
Like, best hockey players that I know. He is an unbelievable guy. So that clip did not surprise me one bit.
I almost thought, like, I wanted to see him in the lineup yesterday as well.
Sam Gagner?
Yeah, just some about it. Like, I want to see Sam Gagner play a playoff game this season
Well,
for the Oilers.
what Gagner brings, and we've seen it, I think, with the Oilers this year, is for like a game or two, he could come in and he could do things that the team's necessarily not doing.
Yeah.
Like he'll go crash the net if he has to. You need him on the first line to help try to produce. He'll go do that. You need him on third line, fourth line to just be a little stronger defensively, spice this thing. He'll go do that. You can't count on him to do that 5-6 straight games.
No.
But a game or two here or there, he's a guy that will go do that. And I think at some point you'll probably see that in the playoffs. I think there'll be a game where the Oilers, let's say hypothetically they advance to the Dallas Stars. I don't want to overlook the Canucks still here, but you go take on the Dallas Stars. There's going to be a loss in that series. Maybe there's a loss where Chris Knobloch's not happy with what he's seen, and he goes, "This is the next game. Sam Gagner is going to go in to try to light this team up," type thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see him. I wonder if maybe Chris Knobloch didn't go that way fully yesterday, partly because he went with the big change in net. And he didn't need to do much else. Like that.
But are you
was the big
surprised that
thing.
like Sam Carrick's not in? Like, I know we're talking about Gags, but like, what about Sam Carrick? Like, this is a guy he's a pretty good hockey player, and he actually adds some sandpaper and a little bit more size to your fourth line.
I'm surprised before the game that he wouldn't have gone in yesterday, because we talked about yesterday when a team, like, you come from game 3 where the Oilers lack the physicality.
Yeah.
If you're trying to be like, hey, this team needs to respond physically, there's a guy that could come in. The reason I'm now like, look at it, they responded yesterday physically. That I guess you didn't need him.
Is he worse? Is he a worse player than Derek Ryan?
You tell me.
I'm legitimately, and I think Derek Ryan's a very good player. I think he's very smart. I think he's cerebral. But you go back to last year, right? They trade for Bukestad. They're like, we got the big centerman. We got a big guy kind of, through our lineup. We're hard to handle. They lose. Obviously, now we're back to this year. And your fourth line to me is still small. And I don't think, like, Janmark's been playing bigger than he is. I thought Connor Brown was okay. But Sam Carrick can add a lot to your team. And on top of that, you traded for him. You gave up quite a bit for him and Henrique. Now, maybe it's just as simple as the fact that, Henrique's out of the lineup. That could be the biggest difference. But, man, oh, man, I don't know. I feel like Sam Carrick should be in this lineup for whatever odd reason. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like there's more there with Sam Carrick. Could be bias, but
I think there's a lot that would agree with you on that. I will go to a different player. Is there a point Troy Stetcher needs to get into this lineup? Maybe in place of a Cody Ceci.
I thought I heard he was hurt.
Stetcher?
That's what I thought I heard recently.
Okay. That would make then some sense.
Don't quote me on that, but like, I thought I heard that from somewhere that he was hurt. And that's part of the reason why he wasn't in. I don't know
about that. No, I don't know. Like, I don't think it changes much though if you put Stetcher in over Ceci. It's like Ceci, sure, on that, pardon me, on that one goal, he was flat-footed, whatever. But you have Ceci there. You're not gonna put in Stetcher, and I feel like he's more small, right? He's smaller. He can make those quicker pass. It won't change though. They are different players, but it won't change much. I think on the defensive end, and especially being a smaller defenseman, even though he has some grit, he might be beat out in those corners by some Canuck racing to the puck. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be a massive difference. And I guess Philip Broberg also comes up, but I think he's the guy below Stetcher. If there's an injury, of course, maybe it changes the dimension.
Broberg was maybe going to go in the lineup yesterday.
Yeah, they were thinking about doing 11-7 yesterday with Broberg being in the lineup.
I've never liked 11-7.
No?
No, I mean it's okay sometimes, but you got to trust your defensemen, and to have, you know, seven of them, have one guy sit a little bit longer, whatever it is, change up the defensive pairings. I feel like you just have to keep that same lineup to keep it consistent.
It's just, to me, under Woodcroft at least, they had a lot of success under 11-7 for whatever reason. I mean, maybe it's because with that fourth line or whatever, you're getting another shift potentially with McDavid or Draisaitl if you wanted to.
You keep those guys on the ice more.
And you're doing it where you're then also keeping the other guys engaged as opposed to just your top two lines being engaged. Did you ever play 11-7?
Yeah, we played it quite a bit. Guy Boucher and Hamilton. We played it lots.
Did you
I
like
didn't mind it. As a defenseman, it kind of gets you out of the rhythm.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we had actually a really good defense, so lots of guys played. But if you're one of those guys that, like, you know, top two, the top four, you're just rolling. It doesn't really matter. It's that last pairing that might care a little bit. But I mean, hey, you're in the playoffs. You got to find a way to perform. And there's lots of times throughout the regular season. Yeah, okay, you might mail that one in or whatever. I'll put this guy in the lineup. Hey, you need to win. You need to win at all costs. So 11-7, 12-6, don't really care. Two lines. Get the win. Do what you need to do and put the best players in.
Barring any sort of nicks that we don't know about.
Yeah.
You don't make a change, though, go into tomorrow, do you? Like, or do you try to get Sam Carrick in? Like, I think the only one change you would make is if Adam Henrique's good to go, you're getting him in the lineup.
Yeah. That's
I don't know if
the
he
only
would
thing
be
that
good to
they'll
go, but would you, like, look at anything? Like, I'm the type, you don't mess with a winning lineup. You just want.
Yeah.
You go back with that lineup.
I think that's what they'll probably do. And like you just mentioned, if Henrique is he's healthy, then they probably put him back in. But outside of that, it's the same lineup. But I feel like they miss Henrique.
Well, you would have to. Like,
I think they really miss Henrique.
There's a veteran guy who can just help solidify this top nine. We'll say
top nine. He solidifies it.
There's a veteran, and just anytime you lose a veteran, that's a big deal. And there's a reason that the Edmonton Oilers brought him in. And it's not always just about producing the goals; it's everything else that Adam Henrique would bring. So now it's
because it probably pushes Kane down to the third line.
Quite a great game yesterday.
He played really well yesterday. That's the guy that everybody wants to see. That's why they have him around, because games like that, he can be a difference maker.
He was all over the place.
Yeah.
By the way, the Oilers, I don't know if they're skating today. They'll have a media avail in Vancouver at 3:30. So keep it locked on Twitter for any updates on that. I don't think we'll get much, though.
Probably.
Another player I think I played amazing was Dylan Holloway.
He's been awesome since he's come back up.
Oh, man. He was flying out there. Some of the plays that him and Draisaitl were making together, and I know the lines are shifted around a bit, but he is a great player, and he hits. Like,
he's got
in
some
one game
sandpaper
he
to
had,
his game.
Oh, yeah. In one game when he played over 10 minutes, he had 5 hits, and then another game he had 7. But then in game 3, he played under 10 minutes, and he didn't register a hit. But now the ice time has been shifted around a little bit.
Yep.
McDavid's playing not 29 minutes, in that game, and then Draisaitl as well. I like seeing that. You got to play your guys evenly. You can't, when you need to, yes, you could go to your big guys and ask a little bit more of them, but it's not sustainable to play that 29 minutes or 30 minutes every night for any player, really, unless, there's defensemen who do it, but different game, different style and everything. So,
yeah, I've really liked his game a lot, actually. He, like you mentioned, he flies around the ice. He's got a ton of speed. He probably, him and McLeod are the two guys that probably can skate with McDavid. But the physicality aspect has been really good. He gets on the forecheck. He creates havoc. I'm a big fan of Holloway, and I've been really impressed since he's been back.
Penner's Pancakes in the nasty chat. Holloway will be top 6 next year. He's Taylor Hall-esque in his style and skating. And then some people on Henrique VR Montenegro. Rico is a Swiss Army knife like Nuge in RK Athletics. Henrique on the third line would be great with the OK symbol. The hands. Want to jump into the Paris Jewelers inbox as well. 780-218-9999. This is the EST Hangout presented by Two Hoots. Matt Iwanyk, Shawn Belle, Zachticum with you here. Someone have to work days off, so this is how we do it. And he's got his big TV, and on half of the screen, it's us on YouTube, and on the other half, it looks like a PowerPoint presentation. He's working on.
wow.
So
That's awesome.
thanks for tuning in. Big Dave, can we just take a moment to appreciate how thick Bellsy legs are, especially sitting next to Maddie in shorts? Yeah, we're not doing those leg wrestling between me and Bellsy.
Let's stay away from this one because Freezer Bag will start going after it again. He goes after Tommy all the time.
He goes after me worse now. I think.
Really?
I think he has me worse than Tommy.
That's awesome.
Hontorio Momes, Kevin Woodley says that the Canucks have picked off Stuart Skinner's weakness. As soon as they see him locked into a movement, holes open up because he's such a big goalie. Lateral movement slow. Pickard, he said, is the exact opposite. Got very quick lateral movement, so they're essentially opposite goalies, which probably threw the Canucks for a loop. So that's what Kevin Woodley had to say on behalf of Hontorio Momes. So
Nice.
we'll see what happens. GCL Diesel Oil Stream pre- and post-game shows. Tomorrow, Hudson's West Edmonton Mall. Tommy will be there for Game 5. Actually didn't see the game time for that one yet. I should double-check. Because these 7:30s have been wonderful, and I know they're 7:30s.
They're so good.
They're still. I remember when the Oilers used to play. They moved them back for a season to 7:30s. The majority of the games were 7:30, and everyone hated it. But right now they feel wonderful. Tomorrow's an 8:00 start.
Oh.
Damn it. Well, it is Vancouver. We got lucky.
Freezer Bag. Does Maddie eat?
I actually do. I actually do. You want to see? I have 2 great eating feats. The 2 greatest eating feats I had. Brewhouse 40-ounce steak night. I did my steak, and I did all my sides, and then I ate all of Dusty's sides and half of his steak, all in one night.
So 60
Jeez.
ounces
I did
of
60 ounces of steak plus 2 servings of sides, which
Nice
was
work.
potatoes and veggies.
Nice
So crushed
work.
that. And I was ready for dessert if I really wanted to. And then one time I used to
Get a hollow leg, hey? It's just all goes right down in there.
I just eat. I can. I
you.
could do it. I could also not eat. It just varies. I had a full lunch one day at the station. It was a day the Oil Kings played an afternoon game, so I didn't have to be on the air doing some off work. I was eating, ate a full lunch. I shared the room with bassist from Whale and the Wolf, Lucas. Dusty came in and we were just talking. Then somehow we got into Wendy's and there was a Wendy's across the street. And I'm like, let's go get some Wendy's. And I just ate lunch. I'm like, let's do it. And I went and had the triple Baconator combo.
Oh, boy.
And I crushed it. Just after I ate my lunch, crushed it. So I can eat. If you want to sit down and
That's impressive,
eat,
man.
I will eat.
See, there's always those guys who are a bit slimmer and they could just continue to eat. They could eat the worst food. Like I got buddies who eat all the junk food. Like for breakfast, they'll have ice cream or something like that, right? Like it's Home Alone or whatever. But I see them always eating fast food. No salads, no greens, no anything, no vegetables, no fruit. But they're skinny, and I don't know. I'm jealous.
You think you're not like you're fine?
Oh,
I like at that time I had a much better metabolism than I do now. Like I'm not gonna be that crazy. I can still do it, but I also know that that's gonna catch up to me at some point. So I got to be
At some
careful.
point, it'll catch you.
At some point, the one thing I am very like I never want to go too crazy because then once you gain it, it's hard to get it off. That's my thing with it.
My thing is I just got to stay within the booze.
Would you
But-
like some too?
But that's exactly that's the problem.
come
Like
to the wrong building.
every single time I do something, it's like, okay, I'm gonna go get some exercise. So we skate Mondays and Thursdays at the rink. Then all of a sudden, here comes a couple cases of beer.
oh,
And it's like, do you want one? Of course you do. Yeah, I do. Just give me one.
See, so the two moderation.
One goes to two, two goes
so you
to
gotta
three,
be careful.
three
You
goes to four.
You got to be able to
Because
say
then we
no.
all go in the steam room.
No.
And we sit there and just crush beers in the steam room.
You got to learn how to sip it a little slower.
I've been trying.
that's my problem too. Yeah.
The other thing is also part of the now not for those ones, but one of the biggest issues when you're drinking to gain weight is the food you eat with it. As you're drinking, you then want to eat more and eat, and you grab your chips or you order a bunch of stuff. That's the
Yeah, I'm
thing
not
to be
worried
careful
about that part. It's just honestly the booze for me.
It's all empty.
Then
Like it's not.
get
It doesn't
Michelob
keep you full.
Ultras. They're like 90
That's
calories.
water. I might as well just go grab a glass of water. It's the same thing.
Not Michelob Ultra.
Yeah, that's crap.
I love a good Michelob. It tastes fine. Plus, better for calories.
I agree with you, Matt.
Go get into selters.
I'm going to do
Good
6
calories.
o'clocker lagers because that would rather support that than the Michelob Ultras.
Maybe a birdie booze has less calories.
Yeah.
I brought some in finally for that. So, and it was on. Look, it was at Hudson's on White last night. They had it out there, so it was. And now watching the pregame yesterday. Gager and Tommy there. They guess it's on the shelves too, so it's just sitting there between a couple of tequilas.
Now it just stares at you.
Now it just stares at you.
Yeah.
I could get one in and bring it and have it. It's
calling your name.
Yeah.
Maddie.
It's delicious. Like that, I'm not a big vodka guy. Like just on its own, and I'll
Neither
just
am I,
pour
but
that
this
into a
one's
glass and I'll
unbelievable.
just sip on it and drink it.
It's so
Great.
good.
Don't
Yeah.
need to shoot it. You could just drink it.
Yeah, just put some on ice. You don't even need to mix it. Like just sip it, as you said. I don't mind vodka. Sometimes flavored vodka it has that weird aftertaste or whatever. But no, it went down smooth. The launch was
I
great.
honestly don't even taste the vodka.
I barely taste it.
That's a problem.
Yes.
Danger.
It is dangerous.
It goes back to when we were sampling them. So we had batch 6, 7, and 8. 6 was you didn't taste any of the alcohol. Very sweet. 7 was quite a bit more alcohol taste.
It had a little
And
bit of a
8
burn on the way.
8 was both.
Yeah.
It was a perfect combination where there's a little bit of the alcohol
Yeah.
and not as sweet and stuff. And it was just a perfect blend. And then they fine-tuned it a little bit more. And now it's just wonderful. Sobe Safeway Liquor, Strathcona Spirits is where you can get your birdie booze right now.
Yeah.
And they just, as somebody tweeted yesterday, they brought it on the course.
Amazing. I brought it into the dressing room.
Did you?
It disappeared in a hurry.
And now drop it into a 6 o'clocker.
Drop it
The
into
birdie
a
bomb.
Jeez.
Did you not do one on Saturday?
Nope.
I did
What-
one.
We learned the kind of, maybe it could be a little more fine-tuned. 3 parts beer, 1 part birdie. Delicious. It's honestly, delicious. Yeah.
I didn't need to know that.
Now you're going to have to try it one day.
Oh, yeah.
Not today, but we'll try it at some point. We've got the birdie booze here. We've got 6 o'clockers. We'll get it going.
That's outrageous.
It's fantastic as well. He wants
Can't kick it till you try
wants
it,
it
yeah.
right now. And you can't do anything right now because you're off on a trip right away. So you're trying to be good until you get out of here.
I might have to go to the steamer and sweat it out.
I will take it and hold it here. And
It'll stare me down.
Thank you. Look at that. Look at that. There's the birdie booze.
There it is right there.
Chill that a little bit. Put it
Yeah.
on ice. Goes down
Fantastic.
smooth.
I didn't read the
Fantastic.
back of this thing.
And it's really nice, actually, what they wrote on the back. And it's the last line. It's about 2 local businesses coming together. I don't know. It was really nice. None of us, we didn't come up with any of that here at EST. That was all Strathcona Spirits. So good on them for all of that.
So you guys on Global?
I was on
Nice
Global
work,
with him.
yeah.
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 Yep.
was good.
A few people saw me on Global.
Yeah.
Spec came to me on the game on Sunday. What was it? Monday night? I'm losing my mind. Sunday night. And I saw you on Global. And I was like, yeah, well, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I
is a
didn't
big-
do
this is a
much. I
big
just
deal.
stood there. And then in the end, Schmitty and Lisa McGregor both had a drink to drink. And I just stand there with none. It's like, awesome. That's cool.
Like,
I
thanks,
don't need
Schmitty.
one.
Yeah, thanks, Schmitty. Don't worry about me. I'll just be over here.
Yeah,
doing
I'll just
my
be
thing.
standing
Yeah.
here, whatever. I woke up early to come to this. That's okay. I don't need a drink. I did try the smoked one he made after, and it was delicious.
Really?
Smoked drinks are one of my kryptonites. You smoke a
A
good
smoked
drink,
old fashioned? Ridiculous.
and that's what apparently we're doing here on the Hangout tomorrow.
Thank God I'm going to be on a plane somewhere.
Gager's
Gager's going to be here.
we talked about it last week, and Gager's like, I'm going to bring, let's make some smoked old fashions. And then yesterday when I was on 2 Guys with him, and I threw out that he hadn't had the birdie booze. I'm going to bring it in and we could try. He's like, I thought we were doing old fashions tomorrow. I'm like, well, we could do both, Gager.
Gager
I'm
will be
not opposed
sleeping
to
here.
both.
That guy is going to be in his underwear and his slippers, probably have a robe on, just sitting on that couch, crushing old fashions, and having birdie booze.
gonna
That's
be
what
wonderful.
Gager's going to be up to.
Oh.
It's
Gager
going
on
to be a
Thursday.
great day tomorrow.
It's fantastic. Every Thursday he comes in and he's always got the drinks flowing.
And I think he smokes. I'm hoping he's bringing the smoker. You smoke an old fashioned.
Oh,
You've
for a
got me.
second there, I thought you said he smokes. I was like, since when did he pick up smoking? Good for him.
He's gonna light it up in here
He's gonna
too.
have just light
hacking
it up.
some darts,
Oh, man.
drinking old fashions, pounding back birdie.
He's got the
boots,
leather jacket
leather
going.
jacket.
Smokes right in the front pocket.
Boys, let's do 2 guys now.
Holy
just
man, Gager, you've really changed.
using the desk as an ashtray, doesn't care, just putting it up there.
Oh man,
I'm really liking this Gager that we've now just had.
this is a new Gager. Kids are almost out of the house. Gager's changed.
He's gonna come in with this like convertible car.
Yeah, he might.
It comes down like completely going, hair flowing,
Well, unfortunately, he doesn't have
whatever
any of that,
fair
but-
hair he has
yeah.
and stuff. Bonnie
that's
Dunron
awesome.
in the nasty chat or in the Paris Drulers inbox. Hey, Maddie, will Man U lose again today against Newcastle? Probably. We don't need to get into that. Actually, I'm going to open up these stickers.
Yeah, I was just
now.
gonna say.
Yeah, it's about time.
Copa America stickers. I saw my first ad on TSN yesterday for Copa America, Canada taking on Argentina. I was very happy.
It's finally.
Took a while.
Yeah. Like, come on.
I got to get my tickets still. Big stories with that one. Let's see what stickers I got. I got Costa Rica.
Very nice.
Barely
very
can
nice.
see it. Casemiro, who's a Manchester United player for Brazil. He's not called up to Copa America, so he's not playing in Copa America. So that's good.
Yeah. So that one's useless.
Bolivia. Team picture of Bolivia.
Oh, that's nice.
Kale Avre from Trinidad and Tobago. They're not even in the tournament, are they? Oh, yes, are they? No, they're not. They lost to Canada. They're out. So we got a team that's not even in the tournament.
You got a bad. You got a bad pack.
Panini did terrible with this.
You got a bad pack.
Oh, Chile. Hernan Salas, this one's for you. I'll give that
That's a
to
good one.
Nancy.
Yep.
So that was very underwhelming. I'm
Was
not
there
gonna lie.
six cards in
You
there?
get 5.
Five cards?
Well, then you get a what is this card? It's just some number. So I get something for it, a QR code. I don't know. I'll figure that out later. So I got
Tough pack.
I got
get digital
I got a player that's not going to Copa America because he wasn't called up for it, and I got a guy from a country that's not even in it either. Awesome, good job, Panini. Did a great job with these. And I didn't even get a Canadian.
Means you get to collect more stickers though. You just
Yep.
need to go buy more packs,
Go
right?
get some more.
I will. Well, but okay, so I said to Eric, okay, now I'm gonna have to go buy the book and go buy some more stickers to put in. And he made a hint like, don't buy any more stickers, just get the book. So I don't know what he meant by that. Does he have more stickers for me?
He might.
And now it's like, okay, well, I got to wait and see if he's got more stickers, but I don't want, I want to just rip a bunch of packs. Worst part is like,
This is tough.
this is first world problems. These
This
are
is
problems
really
no one
tough,
cares
yeah.
about. Taking the back off to get the sticker to put in the book, that part's hard.
Yeah, I wouldn't do
It's-
it. I would just leave it and just put it in like a little slot, like you would if you
No,
had, CCM.
There's something joyous. Maybe it's because it brings me back to being a kid or something. But
Yeah.
unpeeling it off and putting it in the book and then trying to make it straight, it's very nice.
That's the hardest part
soothing.
for me is trying to get it straight because if you put the corner on wrong and then you got to readjust it and everything, just I remember getting those sticker packs for the NHL as well. I had one piece of the Stanley Cup, but I never tried to, go buy more stickers. And I was always like, they're going to come to me one day. Like, I'm going to get them as a gift. I never asked my parents for it. I thought would just get them as a present. No, never got to build that Stanley Cup. I think it was like 5 or 6 stickers you needed to build the full thing in the sticker book.
Did you ever collect your cards? Like, did you go try to grab your cards?
It's funny you say that because I know that there's obviously sometimes there's seekers. We call them seekers.
Yeah.
And they'll send out the card, and I'll literally forget to like sign it and send it back, and all of a sudden I've just got a stack of my own cards. I've like legitimately forgot multiple times. And my wife's like, "You can't do that." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "You're supposed to send that back months ago." I'm like, "Well, it's too late now."
I don't know who to send it
I don't know who
to.
to send it to. Lost the card, lost the envelope. So I've got a stack of my cards. Got a couple rookie cards in there. I saw it on eBay. It's actually worth $9 American.
We should sign it. Bring out the value.
Yeah.
Yeah, how much more would it be?
It's like Gager yesterday's wearing his Portland Winterhawks jersey, but signed by him. And
He can't
He's wearing his
wear
own
your
signed
own
jersey?
signed
okay,
jersey.
why not?
You can't wear your own signed jersey.
Why not?
Who signed that? I did, actually.
It's my jersey. I signed it. I played
I
it.
can understand
More.
if you wore your own jersey, but not your own signed jersey.
Why not?
Put that thing up in a box, in a shadow box. That stuff should be on your wall.
So-
that is for people to look at, not for you to wear. What's wrong with you, Gager?
There's more people to look at it when you're
Oh
walking
my
around. With it.
heavens.
So what he told me is on Two Guys yesterday was it was his. He gifted it to his billet,
Yeah.
and then
Then his billet was like, I don't want this anymore. You can have it back.
It's
taking up too much
That's what it
space.
sounded like to me at first because she's like, she sent it back, but no, he sent her a different one. So that's like been like swaps and stuff. So then she
Yeah.
gave this one back. He gave a different jersey. I think in the end, he gave her a Spangler Cup jersey, but then he wanted it back, so he took the Spangler Cup back, but then gave her an Oiler one signed by a bunch of Oilers. So
Okay.
there was a gifting, but so he had initially signed it for her. And so he's wearing it for the Winterhawks who are down 0-3 in their series now. I think it's great because if you're walking around like, oh, who signed that jersey? I did.
That's funny. Yeah. It's like, who? Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
I forgot
that's
who it
wild.
was. I think it was maybe Rip City Step or someone else texted him like, did you get the letter of authenticity of who signed that and
That is
stuff? Like,
absolutely wild.
I think you should go do that. Get it Bellsy, get a Bell jersey.
I would never do it.
Sign it and walk around with it. More people will see it.
Huh. That would really be something.
I'll
getting
leave that thing up in my shadow box.
We're getting a jersey signed by somebody else. I think one of my buddies, he has a Jordan Eberle jersey signed by Ron McLean, I think, and then Nail Yakupov as well. Like two random, like completely different people from whose jersey it actually is, which I think is just ridiculous to an Eberle jersey signed by Nail Yakupov.
That's actually not uncommon though, because people will just say like sign the jersey and you'll have that. So that's not uncommon. It's kind of funny if it's only Yakupov on that Eberle jersey, but it's not uncommon to be honest with you. Because
Personally, I'd never
most
do
people just like pull off their jersey and be like, here, sign this. And you're like, where do you want me to sign it? On the number, sure. So it's kind of, I don't know.
I don't know if he has it on the crest or the number. It would make more sense for me if that happened to me, if I ran into somebody or had a Sharpie, you know. But I'd never do that, I guess, willingly, like if I sat in a line. Maybe if it was my only jersey, but I would have to get that on the crest, personally. I wouldn't get it on the number if it was
Yeah.
a different player.
Yeah, I agree.
It's fun watching the videos. There's always those people that try to get a player to sign a jersey that is like anti them or something. Like somebody was trying to get Christian McCaffrey to sign. I can't remember which team's jersey.
He's like, not a chance.
Well, it looks at it and like, I'm not signing that one. Or like you either come with like a rival team jersey or something or whatever that, and you just like, yeah, I can't. I'm not doing that one. Like, not a chance, dude. Like,
Did you happen to see the nasty chat from McDavid 97 that popped in and then I think disappeared in about
he
2.5
retracted
seconds?
he retracted something, but I don't know what it was.
Something about the draft.
This draft.
Georges was talking about the WHL draft yesterday, and he was a little bit upset. But I think that
I didn't see that because
if McDavid
Marcus
97 wants to bring it back, then please do. We'll definitely talk about it. But Marcus
went-
did go. He won the 4th round.
but behind his dad.
79, right?
An indictment. Man, that guy should have been way higher.
Oh, okay.
Way higher.
Well,
Anyway, yeah.
I was trying to get McCaffrey to sign a USC hat. He thinks that's from Raider Jesse. Thank you, Raider Jesse. And then McCaffrey was Stanford. Yeah, I was thinking Stanford. So yeah, the rival hat or something. He said no, not signing that one, which is pretty funny.
One of the funniest things I've ever seen, and I've told Kevin Lowe this story, is we were doing the Alzheimer's event. So I wasn't there. I haven't been there for the last 2 years. So it would have been 3 years ago. And I'm pulling up. So it's at the Shaw Conference Center, right? And so I'm pulling up to the lights. I see Kevin crossing the street. He's like looking to his left because he sees a bunch of Seekers. And the Seekers, like, they have all the memorabilia, but they've probably asked you to sign it 15 times. And so your autograph is on that thing 15 times because it's like, well, every time they see you or there's an event, they're standing outside the hotel or whatever. You know, it is what it is. They just want to get your autograph. It's cool. But he sees them and he wants no no part of trying to sign anything that they're doing. So he crosses the street. They cross the other side of the street. And then he's watching them to see if he notices. And he goes and ducks behind a bus shelter. He like peeks around the corner to make sure they're gone. And then he kind of hops out and then walks across the street. And I'm watching this from my car and I see him. I'm like, you didn't want to sign autographs today, did you? It's like, oh, Belsy, I didn't know that you saw that. Like, yeah, I saw all of it. Like, guys just, some days they just don't want to sign because it's.
Well, yes, I'm just doing some days you just don't want to talk to someone.
Yeah.
You don't want to be on.
But I've already signed that thing 15 times, buddy.
Sign it with a different name.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wayne Gretzky.
Bugs Bunny. Just do whatever. Just mark it. A quick thing. It is the autograph world has changed quite a bit because now like the top athletes, they have different signatures.
Yeah.
They'll have signatures for those people where it's nothing.
Yeah.
And then the people that pay him, like, is it Upper Deck with McDavid? I think he's Upper Deck. His signature is obviously going to be a lot more legible and a different signature and one that you could verify it a lot easier. And that's where the money's going to be. So you go running up to McDavid, he might sign something very
Just scribble.
just a scribble.
Yeah.
You'll know, I got McDavid, but really it's not going to compare to his actual signature. So you can't really go sell it because he's got to deal with Under Armour.
Yeah.
And that's where his autograph's going to be. And it's why like the Oilers autograph session, I think he'll only sign Under Armour.
Yeah.
Or not under Upper Deck.
But he's
Upper
also-
Deck the whole
he's-
time. I don't know, Upper Deck the whole time. And like so like and you could go and take your jersey or whatever you want to all the players, but with McDavid it's specifically you could only get certain things signed because of his deal. The world's just completely changed with all that.
All right. McDavid 97. Wondering if there's politics in the WHL draft over players in the JPHL. Seems like teams rather take guys from the CSSHL. I was very upset to see the Blades pass up on Marcus for a 5'6" forward. He went 2 picks after the Blades to.
Thoughts? Is there
I got lots. They're going to sound super biased, but I promise you they're not. I think that there is definite politics. I think there's some teams that say we will not, and I repeat, we will not draft players from that league. I don't want to name those teams, but they have said that openly. I think there's teams that say, well, because you can't affiliate that particular player within, a calendar season, that they won't take them. But I mean, affiliation's a whole other animal that we could get into and talk about for hours. And like, here's a story for Spruce Grove Saints. I coached with them a couple years ago, assistant coach. We had 15 players AP'd. And of those 15 players, I would say 3 of them came to practice multiple times and played multiple games. I would say probably 10 of them were one practice or less, and you never saw them. So from an affiliation standpoint, like, I don't know, is that something that you want to hinge everything on? Well, if you're not going to show up at a practice anyway, so what's the point of being affiliated? So I've got lots of opinions on it. I've got lots to say on it, but for the most part, I think it's sad because as a scout, your job is to say, okay, what is this player going to look like, when he steps into our lineup? And then what is he going to look like at 18 for his draft year? And once again, this is going to sound super biased, but I promise you it's not. A kid like Marcus Larocque, who he's 15 right now. He's 6'4", 200 pounds. I've watched him play through the entire season. I watched him play at Spruce Grove's rookie camp, and he's throwing guys that are 4 years older than him around like they are paperweights. So if I'm saying, okay, at 18 years old, what's he going to look like? That's a dominant force. And I think everybody in hockey would be like, well, yeah, I want a player like that who's willing to fight, because he's openly said he wants to fight when he plays junior. Guy that can score, take pucks to the net, be like, I guess a good comp would be Lucic. So if you had Lucic coming in, would you not want him? That's how I feel.
And I had the pleasure of calling a few of his games, and I definitely saw that. He would just truck through guys like in the corner. He'd win in those battles and everything. He's a very powerful player. And he's got the scoring to come with it.
Yeah, it's look, Hockey Canada and with where everything's gone within BCHL and the AJ and everything. There's now like a semi-war taking place, and
There's 100%
there's going to be
war.
people that are taking sides, and there's going to be those that are going to be with the JPHL. There's going to be those that are against, and then there's going to be those that are going to be Switzerland potentially, and also
You know
they're
what
going to take full advantage. Like if I'm one of those, if I'm a WHL team, I don't care to a degree what's happening below her. If
I'm
you
taking
want
the
to, if
best
you want to
player.
pass on some players,
Yeah,
please
go
do.
nuts.
Please do. I'll take those players.
Yeah.
The Hockey Canada needs to figure this out, but I'm in the dub. I'm in trying to win WHL championships. I'm trying to get to the Memorial Cup
That's
and win a
what you would
Memorial Cup.
think.
So, Hockey Canada, get your ducks in a row. Figure this all out. Everyone, figure this all out.
Yep.
Deal with it on the lower level. I'm here to win. You're the best player. Welcome to my team. Congratulations.
That is exactly what you would think should happen. Unfortunately, it does not happen. And the
No.
craziest part about this whole thing is, so I saw you was game 3, the
Yeah.
press box. So after the first intermission, out walks Bob Nicholson, turn around, he's like, "Hey, Belsey, hey." And we talked about this. And he's like, "Yeah, we got to figure out a way to like sit down together." And he's like, "I know that you're doing well. I know it's starting to build. There's, other guys on the other side have some issues. And I just feel like everybody needs to sit down in a room and just hash this out because I think it's important. Hockey's not the same anymore." You're right, Bob. Do you think this will ever happen? No. Okay, so you were the former head of Hockey Canada. You still consult at the same time. And you understand and and actually when it comes to what Hockey Canada stand for, the mission statement, the JPHL and Hockey Canada are 100% aligned. It's the craziest thing. But then it's like, well, no. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. You're doing good? Everything else is good?
I will say, if I'm an owner of WHL team, I kind of also don't want this somewhat fully figured out because I get the advantage of this right now.
Oh, all Seattle,
Right? Like-
all Seattle does is sit back and says, okay, you guys go pick these players, and then
I'll grab
you
them
don't
late.
want to pick them? Okay, I'll pick them late.
Yeah, I'll
And it's-
load up.
So I was doing some scouting for a team, and I literally text the one guy, our assistant GM. I can't really say names because he'll be very mad if I say it. And actually, I texted a couple of different teams. I said, "Hey, take this player, defenseman, really good." And he is really good. My guy goes, "No, we're done." Okay. The other team, yeah, we'll talk about it. And then what happens? Boom. As soon as I make those text messages or send those text messages out, gone. And I'm like, and where did he go? Seattle. Because Seattle just sits back and says, okay, like, if you guys don't want to take these players, and that's what scouting is. Your job is to go out to multiple different rinks, to watch multiple different teams, to watch multiple different levels, because it's easy to find the top 10. It's hard to find the diamond in the rough. So you might have to go to a 15 AA game, but guess what? We don't do that anymore. All we do is go to showcases. Why? Because it's easy. It's easy because I can catch all the games. I just have to sit
Easy.
there.
Saves money.
Saves money.
I don't have to send a scout to multiple places and multiple games. I
100%.
can send them to one
Yep.
location for a weekend.
So now that's why so many players get picked from certain groups, because these guys have been around for a long time. And yeah, they produce some really good talent. And I'm not going to take anything away from some of these other programs. They have some fantastic talent and they do a great job. But if we're being honest about this, your job is to find the best players and pick the best players, because like you mentioned, the WHL, your job, it's a business for one, and you want to win a WHL championship so that you can make your group the best one in.
You can then go to the
Western
Memorial
Hockey
Cup, and then with the Memorial Cup, like I don't think the best team in the country always wins the Memorial Cup every year, like because it's such a crapshoot once you get there.
Yeah.
But credit to whoever wins it, and you want that chance to win the Memorial Cup too, and so it's more business than anything else.
Yeah. So
it'll be fascinating to see who that one person eventually is, because one day there will be this sit down. It'll happen. There'll be that summit. I don't know when it's going to be.
There's a kid coming next year, Liam Pugh. He is dynamite. And
But for the sit down for everyone to come
he
together.
might be the guy that creates that sit down.
Oh, because I'm who's going to be that higher figure though that goes
that
makes
part?
the call
Yeah,
and
that-
goes you. We're flying to Toronto on these days in that conference room by the airport.
Yeah.
And we've got tea and coffee served. We're sitting and we're not leaving until we have this figured out.
Well, I remember I called Scott Smith when he was still in Power. And because I knew Scott Smith because his kid played against my team at OHA. And so we met just, passing through the halls or whatever. And so myself and Tyrell Spitzer, we actually called him. We had a conference call with him. And unfortunately, he had other stuff to deal with. So it never really came back to his plate. But then you hear all these rumors of yeah, they were just stringing you guys along, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know, man. It's a very interesting conversation, and I think we'll leave it at that for today because I can go into this real good, but I don't necessarily want to.
We'll get some Two Hoots in you for one day, and then we'll get that going. This is the EST Hangout presented by Two Hoots. Matt Iwanyk, Shawn Belle, Zachticum with you here on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, at TuneIn, iHeartRadio, as well as those watching on YouTube. Later today, we do have the Lock Shop coming up in just under an hour with Huss, P. Greggy. They will get you set for the PGA Championships, which gets going tomorrow. I don't know if Dusty's going to throw in some picks to the boys. They love their Wednesday golf picks. And then at noon, Tommy and Joaquin Gage, they'll be at Boston Pizza, St. Albert, the North St. Albert location for the oil stream. So go ahead out and join them as they'll recap Game 4, look ahead to Game 5. Reminder, GCLD's oil stream pre- and post-game shows. Tomorrow, Hudson's West Edmonton Mall with Tommy. 8 o'clock puck drop, which means 6:30 the shows will be on, or pregame will be on tomorrow. And then Saturday, I'm doing a lot of housekeeping right now. Saturday, Hello Hockey at 10 o'clock. That goes till noon. At noon, right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, myself and Jay Milne will be live at Edmonton Elks Fan Day at Clark Stadium as the Elks have their annual Fan Day. We will be there doing a special Elks preview show for a couple of hours down there. So be sure to tune in to Edmonton Sports Talk to watch that, or come down, say hi to us as we will be there at Fan Day. And then announced today, on Monday, we announced that the Edmonton Stingers, we will be carrying games live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk throughout their season. I think we have about 15 of 20 games. Today, Lieutenant Eric with the announcement that we're the radio home in Edmonton of the Edmonton Riverhawks. So you'll be able to catch some Riverhawks games on our station. Later today, we'll have the schedule up at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. I think for that one, it's 44 or 45 of the 56 games or so that they have. So we've got a lot of Edmonton Riverhawks coming to you on the station. Best part is when they leave town, you don't know what's going on. Throw it on to EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Stay tuned. There's nothing like listening to baseball on the radio as well. If you can't get to a game, you're going to want to get to games. Section I is where we generally hang out. But if you can't get to a game any given night, just throw it on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. If we have the game, you'll be able to catch it. So summer programming, lots coming here on EST between Riverhawks, the radio home of them, live Stingers games, and then the Green and Gold kickoff post-game shows with myself, Jay Milne, live at Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, Fort Road. Busy summer coming up here at Edmonton Sports Talk.
No kidding.
Got a golf tournament.
It's amazing.
Got the Nasty Bash. We still got the Oilers playoffs going on. It's wonderful. It's great times here at Edmonton Sports Talk. So, very excited to be partnering with the Edmonton Riverhawks on that one. And be sure to... There's some people... Have you gone to Riverhawks game?
I have. I enjoy them.
They're wonderful.
Yeah, they're really good.
You haven't gone yet.
No, I've yet to see a live baseball game. I'd always, when I was like 10 or so, I'd always drive by the Remax Field and I'm like, is there a baseball team that plays there? I didn't know for the longest time. And then I finally realized, yeah, there is. So that is on the list to go. I'll be going to a lot of Elks games as well. But a Riverhawks game is high up on that list. I really want to try the 9 innings, 9 hot dogs, 9 beers, or whatever.
9 beers, 9 hot dogs, 9 innings. I think I could do it.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, based on what you were describing earlier about how you can eat, yeah, I get it.
The hot dog I'm not worried about. It's the beer. That's the one that I think I get to like inning 7.
The beer?
I'm gonna feel bloated. I'm not gonna like. So like, if I could do something else.
No, gotta do the beer.
If it has to be beer, I think that's the part that I'm gonna struggle with.
And
The
like
hot dog easy.
Can? Tall can or like a
Well, see, and
a
I don't
small
think it can be tall
right?
can. It's not the tall boys. It's got to be the 355 normal can size.
Okay.
I think baseball. I think that's the design of it.
Gotcha.
I don't think we're talking about the tall. I don't think we're doing full 6 o'clock.
If you're going a tall boy per inning,
That's a lot.
impressive.
By the 4th,
That's.
That's impressive.
That would probably be closer to what, 14, 15 beers?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I'm not. Somebody saying I saw this once doing it for 9 holes in golf. 9 holes, 9 beers, 9 hot dogs, and I went, that's too much.
That's outrageous.
I could maybe do
You
it every
wouldn't be
2
able to
holes.
Swing the golf club.
Yeah, like I could maybe do it over the course of 18 holes, 9 of them each. That I could do. 9 for 9, not a chance.
No.
Holes could be just way too quick sometimes. Baseball, I think I could do that. And I will, I think, try it this year at some point. I'm walking to the park anyways. I live right there, so who cares?
Somebody bring a wheelbarrow to roll Matty out of there after.
I'll tweet about when I'm doing it about, and then maybe I'll just make sure I'm not on the phone. Because I'm sure there'll be some terrible tweets later.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go, Hawks!
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, you're not getting like massive footlongs or something for the hot dogs. You're just getting the regular dog size. That's easy.
I could.
You
do
don't
that
think you
easy.
could do that?
Nope.
Hot dog
Actually,
part.
I know I couldn't do it because I don't want to do it.
This isn't about
I'd
wanting.
feel like an absolute bag of.
100. Yeah, who cares? It's the goal.
You
It's the
gotta go
accomplishment.
straight to bed after because you just feel like absolute garbage.
Do you know when you do this? You do this on the Sunday games at 1. The day drinking is a way to do it. Then you just go home, you sleep, you get a great night's sleep, you're ready to go the next day.
I am a fan of the day drinking though.
It's the best.
It's way better.
It
It's
is
way better.
fantastic.
No hangover.
In bed by like 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock,
Yeah.
you get a full night's rest. By the time you wake up, you're feeling good.
Oh yeah.
Just get a nice Pedialyte in before you go.
Except if you have a belly full of 9 hot dogs, you won't sleep well. You won't wake up feeling good.
I'll feel great.
That thing's
You'll
coming
wake
up at some
full.
point.
Yeah, you'll wake up full. A shower beer. Hold on.
There'll be gut rot coming up. That's no. You don't want that in your life.
You gotta see, you just have to mix in waters with those beers.
Are you going ketchup and mustard? What are you putting on it? Kind of condiments.
I do ketchup, mustard, and
Yeah,
relish.
no.
I could do all
No.
those. I could do whatever.
That's gonna no.
It's a veggies. No.
No. You got to go without.
Why without?
Just go meat in a bun. Because all that condiment, like the sugar and stuff, it'll play tricks on you, buddy.
It's good, but it's about the accomplishment here.
I get
Am I
that
going
part.
for like it's? I've done the 1 pound burger.
You're not trying to
at
taste this thing.
Fuddruckers.
You're just trying to get it down. So you don't
I
want to
want to
taste it.
enjoy the food while I'm eating it through the first 4 or 5 innings when I'm still like myself.
I can't wait till somebody takes a photo of you, and it'll be in the same compromising photo that they took of Tommy when he was trying to crush a dog at Hockey Helps the or the Alzheimer's, or was it Hockey Helps the Homeless?
Which picture? Yeah, that was me.
you
That was
and
me.
Trev.
Because they finished the show and I could
Look at
still
him
see their
stuffing his
camera.
face.
Oh, it was
Somebody's
fantastic.
gonna have the same one of you, man. And
Except the eyes will be a little more
And
cross-eyed.
I'm holding this as ransom, as blackmail on Tommy.
Well, it's on Twitter.
I'm
You guys
posting
tweeted
this
it,
at
didn't
some
Yeah, I
point.
tweeted that right after the show because
Yeah,
he,
but he's been
he looked
like,
hungry. You got
get that off. I'm gonna put this on my personal page, and I'm getting this going because this is blackmail. Tommy hates this.
Oh, I texted him
tweet
after
by,
I felt bad.
Don't
yeah.
do stuff by a camera.
Exactly. It was still, if they turned it off, I would have never seen it. But I was sitting there and I'm like, wait, hold on. He took a big bite and then he went for another one and I snapped it at the perfect moment. And I felt bad after because I tweeted it. It got some hits and I texted Tom. I'm like, hey, you good that I posted that? He's like, I don't care. Like he had a good time with it. But
Was that one of those I don't care, like I'm fines?
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
getting
It's
maybe.
not
That's
really.
kinda-
getting them.
maybe what
Raider
I got.
Jesse, too much sugar, too much beer. Tommy will hurt. I'll have a headache. He'll have it. Raider Jesse saying he'll have a headache. Joel saying I'm going to throw it all up.
Honey.
Yeah,
I won't if I'm drinking water.
yeah, but you're not drinking
I
water.
will drink
You're
water.
not gonna. You're not gonna go. You're not gonna go beer, water,
water.
dog.
I'll
Beer,
do
water,
water
dog,
every
bathroom.
2 innings.
Beer, water, dog. You're
Easily.
done. You're
I'll just
done
be
at
in the
5.
I'll just have to be going
You'll
to
be so
washroom
full.
with a lot.
No, you'll be so full. You
I'll
will
break
not.
the
You will
seal will
not
be
be able
broken
to
and I'll be
do
done.
a beer, a water, and a dog in 1 inning
What's a tall
and
boy?
do it every single inning for 9. That's
Tall
not
boy?
happening.
How big is a tall boy?
Yeah, what's the tall boy size?
What, like 725 or something? It's almost twice as much.
Yeah, but
Senor
it's not.
Boots, I agree with you, by the
675.
way, just to clean that up. I completely agree with you. You can't predict that stuff.
So it's 473. So it's like 1.5 beers
Is
almost.
that a tall can? Oh.
The tall boys?
Yeah. So
Are you going to try and challenge yourself with the tall boys now? And
no,
really
no,
make
I'm
this?
not. No, because I'd have to adjust it, and it would have to be every inning and a half. I would have a tall boy.
True. And I would rather just crush the
So
can,
that would be
right?
2 through 9 innings. So I'd have 6 tall boys through 9 innings, 9 hot dogs. Because I don't know if they do just normal cans. So I like 6 o'clock or loggers.
7 tall boys.
Why 7?
Because I feel like that's a better
One
number.
more?
Yeah, just one more. Because then it's closer. Like then you're actually like people question the validity of this.
Sure. Okay. So
you don't want people to question it. So you gotta say, hey, here's 7
so
tall boys.
I'll do a 6 o'clock or logger in the pregame, and then I will do 6 throughout the 9 innings. Every inning and a half, it has to be finished. But every inning a hot dog, and see how far I can go.
Woof.
I think I would do fantastic with that. I'm not worried about it at all.
I feel I want to do that. Like, I don't know if we all did that at a game. I think Trev
Who
might
taps
wanna
out?
try
Yeah,
that.
Can you
Like,
just
look,
let
you
me
can
know
always tap out.
what day that you're going to do this? Because so I don't show up. Because I want no part of this.
You don't want to see it.
Nope.
Or-
I don't
or-
want to see
or I
chunks
need to
of
go on
glizzy
Tuesday.
on the ground.
It's not going to happen.
It's
not with
happening.
me. It's not going to happen.
Somebody's happening.
Well,
Trev?
They're not as skilled as I am.
Trev's
Oh, you
weak
don't know the
stomach?
skill. Yeah.
It's hey, he
not
did
hot
the
wings,
he did
it's
the
hot
hot
wings.
wing
Tommy's
test.
weak stomach?
Tommy won't try this.
No.
Tommy won't get in on this.
Tommy had an interesting night after the launch party.
Yeah, with
He told
the
me he
Zachticum.
puked.
Yeah, they went out.
We went to
Further.
Honey Honies.
And then he went at home and then
Soft.
he let some go outside his bathroom.
He was just
Soft.
outside the door. He said.
Couldn't even make it, hey?
Yeah.
I mean, he had the attempt. A for effort. Well, until you got to clean up your floor, but
I'm not worried. I know I could do this. I'll go do it. Oh, Dino. First one has to be shotgunned. You just
I'm fine. Yeah,
I don't know. Shotgunning a tall boy. How about this?
can do it in my
I'll do
sleep.
6 o'clock or loggers, but then
7.
I'm shotgunning a different beer before the game.
You
It's
got to
7.
go 7. 7, 6 o'clock or longer.
But I'm not shotgunning
9
one of those then.
glizzies.
I'm not shotgunning a 6 o'clock or logger.
Sans ketchup and mustard.
Why?
Just meat
No.
and bun.
I'm going to
that
put some
down.
condiments on that.
You're going to have gut rot, man.
I don't care
I'm just
about
trying
that.
to save you.
Well, if you want to save me, then just don't let me do it at all.
I'm trying not to.
Well, no,
He's
you're
been
not
doing-
even going to be there.
For the last 10 minutes, you've been trying to convince us not to, or him not to do it.
Yeah.
If you go on,
think it's a
if you
terrible
go on a
idea.
Tuesday, it's deals on hot dogs, so I'm saving money.
Tuesdays?
VR Montenegro, I did 9 6 o'clockers at the Super Bowl party. That was over 6 hours, though. Yeah. Baseball game's what, 3 hours? 2.5? It's not bad. Easy.
Yeah.
Simple.
The
Not
waters.
worried. Get the water. You just got to get the water in. Mix in
you
a
know,
water.
you could
I
do
will
it
bring
if
in
you
some-
had Michelob Ultras. Now you're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting your beer and your water at the exact same time.
No,
And then you have your glizzies.
I've got
And then it keeps a little bit more room for
I
it.
got-
Actually, now you got it. You
I
got
got
it made.
Pedialyte sticks.
Pedialyte sticks.
Yes.
Why don't you just
they
have a
just pour into a
Pedialyte
water bottle
popsicle?
and in the shake? I'll just bring some water bottles, pour that in, shake it, and every 2 innings, I'll just pound a Pedialyte.
That's a thing?
Of course,
I'm
it's
putting
a
that on
thing.
the list. Well, I knew the big
Oh,
Hydrolite Pedialyte.
if you're spending your day drinking, get the Pedialytes in you.
It's better than like Gatorade or anything. It just,
That is
brings you
for
back up.
kids, but they have now slowly started marketing it towards adults.
well, they have the
for a
Hydrolite
specific reason.
for adults. The
100%.
Hydrolytes for adults. Like you can get the big container. I think it's 700 milliliters or something. It's 2 servings, but you just pound that
You
thing
get the
Is that
back.
stick,
whole
you just
thing?
pour it in,
Yeah.
shake it, pound it back, you're good to go. I did that like there's a golf tournament I'm in every year. There's drinks every second hole.
Is it at the end of
It's-
August?
It's mid-August. It's
Are
a
we
restaurant in
it's-
town.
Is it the same one we're talking about?
I don't know.
We're probably talking about the same
There's
one.
it's a restaurant in town.
Yeah.
That does it. They have 2 locations, and it's been the last few years at Legends.
Okay. I was thinking about a restaurant in town that has 3 locations. It's at the Quarry.
Okay, no.
Same idea. Every second hole. And if you last by 7 o'clock, you're a warrior. Because it
It-
starts at 7 a.m.
Yeah, this one starts 8 o'clock. I think is
Yeah.
tee off. Look, there will be the EST Classic is going to be fun, and there will be drinks and there will be food. There will not be drinks every second hole. This one, like it is, you go every second hole, and there's either a shot or a wine or a drink, and then there's also a cooler to take beer with you. Grab one, stock up, and go. And it's every 2 holes. There's a Caesar hole, and there's a lot of food. So I have done over a course of a round a bunch of drinking. So I'm fine. I'm good. Give me that
Yeah,
baseball
but
game. I'm good.
you're doing exercise at the same time. You're swinging a
golf.
golf stick. It's still exercise, no matter
Yeah.
which way you try to spin
wanna know
it.
something
It's hot out. You got a little bit of like a little glaze on your head.
Riverhawks, it's hot out,
Just
so I'm gonna
sweating it out.
sweating.
Nah,
And then
man,
I gotta walk
nah.
down to go
You got
buy
the
the stuff.
calories.
That
you gotta
is
go
the
find,
exercise
You
right
I
gotta
there.
go
have to
find
go
your
walk.
ball.
Those stairs are steep, Billsy.
Man, you gotta
That's
go
gonna
find
take
your
a little
ball
bit.
in the woods because you're probably slicing that thing.
Yes,
So you
why
gotta
would
go.
I?
You're going
No,
hiking
no, you're-
in the middle of your round.
What kind of golf tournament are you dealing with?
Well,
I just
dude.
leave that ball. If I'm sending one into the bushes over there,
That's
where are my
amazing.
buddies over here? Oh, we're center over here. Yeah, we're good. I'm not looking. Let's go there.
So how many packs do you buy before a golf tournament?
Packs of.
Because if you're going to be into that level of boozing, you're losing a lot of balls.
No, I'm on those tournaments. It's not too bad.
It's not too bad.
Well, what's
not too
I'll
bad?
say this.
Or are you the
I
guy that
always am
goes to the
stocked.
fringe, right? And you're like, oh, here's a ball. I'll put that in my pocket. So it's like you lose one, but I got another one, even though it's broken.
No,
and I'm still
no,
gonna
no,
try
no.
to hit
I'm
that.
very like if I'll look if I find a golf ball, I'm picking it up. If I see a Wilson or a Pinnacle or something, I'm throwing that away immediately. I'm just like, no, don't want it.
Or
Somebody
you're,
else
you're
can
the guy
have
with
it.
a
I don't want
stick
it.
that has a
Not a
ball
chance.
retriever on the back and just
As
right
a
out
kid,
the
I
water.
would. As a kid, I'd cry when I lost a golf ball. It sucked. But then I've gone to a point where like it's just a golf ball. Who cares? Let's
cry.
move on.
I
Let's
cry
go.
when I lose a golf ball.
But there's a place in town. You could buy secondhand golf balls that actually are really solid shape still.
Oh.
There's a guy in Red Deer that goes and collects them and puts them together. And you could get it depending on the level of golf ball you want. You could get 48 golf like tailor-mades, not TP5Xs, but a little lower for like 48 golf balls for like $24. So to me, like they're less than $1 a ball for me.
We need to get
They
EST
hit
ones.
well.
That's what I was
And so if I lose them, also I don't care.
Yeah.
There will be golf balls at the golf tournament,
Nice.
part of everyone's pack and stuff.
Nice.
Thanks to our wonderful partners, Green Plan.
Nice.
That will have the EST Golf Classic logo and Green
I'm
Plan.
interested.
So
I can't
and
wait to see those.
they are tailor mades. I
Whoa.
went with not TB5Xs. I didn't go that high just yet, but no. So like a golf tournament though, like I lose a ball, I lose a ball. I don't care.
Okay, so
But besides
you're still
bumping it.
swinging the stick. That
Yeah.
portion is called exercise.
I'm walking down
You're
to go get my
walking
hot
down to
dog
get-
and beer.
You're going to bring 9 up.
No.
Why wouldn't you?
Okay, one, I can't do that with the beer because they're gonna get warm. I'm not drinking warm beer in this.
Dude, after an inning
What
and
am
a
I
half,
doing?
it's still going to be kind of warm.
Yeah, so I'll go get them every so often. I'll bring 2 at a time.
So no matter what you
Two at
do,
a
it's going to
time.
be warm.
I'm not having.
Especially
I'm not
if it's a nice day.
I'm not having 9 beers or 7 beers
I
sitting
don't think
next
you should
to
have
me.
the 9 beers, but you're going to go back down for all the hot dogs?
Every 2 or so, 3.
Yeah.
I'll do like every 3. I want a little fresh.
Maddie,
I don't want
listen,
this to be
man.
sitting for 3 hours.
We've known each other now long enough that I know damn well you ain't getting up off that seat. You're going to get somebody to bring it up for
not
you.
a chance.
You know it.
Oh, see, here's the problem. Now you challenged me.
I know.
So 100%.
I know
I'm
exactly
doing
what I'm doing.
it. So I'm 100% going to do that. I'll
eight-
go every 3 innings for
8
the
tall
dogs
boys?
and get my tall boys.
So 8 tall boys
Yeah.
now? Because
No,
now you're getting
7.
the exercise?
No.
So it's cheating.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Oh my.
355 milliliters by 9.
Oh
is-
boy.
And what did I say? It was 460 or something?
465, let's say 475.
Well, no, we're gonna get the actual number, Zach. We're not gonna go
down
with
to
let's
the
say.
milliliter. What if you spill a drop? Huh? Then you got to drink another beer. Like
No, that's part of
kidding.
it. I'm not chugging them. Tall boy beer size. 473. 473 by 7. That's more.
Well, we know it's more.
So I'm only doing 7.
Why wouldn't you do 8? Why don't you just
Why
blow
not
this thing
9?
right out of the water?
Because you don't
If
just,
you're going to sit here on the radio and you're going to talk
no.
this game, you might as well do 8 tall boys, and then whoever challenges you, you become the king of. Kind of like whatever game you were talking about the other day when you were smacking around Dusty and Lieutenant Eric.
Tecmo Super Bowl?
Yeah.
And Lieutenant Eric's not part of that.
Well, okay. Well,
And I'll
but
like,
you're the
you
champ,
can't.
and you've been the
Damn
reigning
right.
champ for
I
how
am,
long?
'cause I'm
Might
brilliant.
as well just do this.
No,
with
here-
8.
Look,
8
here's
of
the
them.
thing. You see, you're doing this wrong.
Okay.
I like running. I like running 5Ks. I'm not going to just go run a marathon tomorrow.
But you're going to run 6 kilometers.
I could go run
Maybe.
6. I could go run 10. I'm not going to just go run a marathon.
Sounds like an
if
awful
I'm
idea
doing this
either
for
way
the
you go.
first time, I'm doing it the way it should be. And I'm not trying to be like be a glory guy here. I'm not trying to be the McDavid of this. I just want to be respectful. I want to get it done. And if I get it done, then I can go be McDavid.
And then you're going to go back?
Another time.
Really?
Maybe.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Because
Who
if I
hurt you?
accomplished it, Well, if I accomplished it, I might have, maybe I enjoyed it. Maybe you want to know something else? Like, that's the way to enjoy baseball. I've realized. You want to know something? I need to be absolutely blitzed and full of hot dogs, and I'm going to really enjoy baseball now.
That's how I'm going to enjoy it.
I'm going to do that every single game.
Oh,
At
that
some
is
point, the Riverhawks are going to
outrageous.
just ask me to leave and not be associated with them at all. They'll pay me to never come back. Please don't do this again.
Like, yeah, we're good. You just stay outside.
Not at the ballpark. Do they have the people with the hot dog? Get your hot dog. Like other people actually walking around in the ballpark?
I don't think I've
or-
ever actually seen the hot dog go around. They have people
Beers-
going around
beers
with
will go around,
beers
yeah.
and alcohol. They've had people with Coke. They've brought like candy around and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I've never
And that's
actually
where you
seen
lose
the
your
hot dog or
steps.
something. Oh, actually, they did have last year though. Actually,
See?
if you want to be really, I don't want to say lazy, but you want to be smart about this. But I guess I can. I got to go walk. You can order to your seat there.
What?
Yeah,
Weird how you
they had
know
it
that,
last
Matty.
year. I actually didn't use it.
You also probably could go down to the little VIP area, and you could just literally sit. What is it, off the first baseline?
Yeah, I like my spot in section I.
Just saying.
Beautiful
man.
spot, third baseline.
I got a feeling there's going to
Look.
be like a little bit of holes in the story here.
Somebody's got to keep tabs.
Yeah.
That's why you got to
Somebody
be
needs-
there.
I don't want
Somebody's
to
gotta
be
be
there.
there.
I don't want to watch
Somebody
them
will
do
be
this
there. And
themselves.
there's a crew of us. We're always there. Once if I commit to it, I'll be like, hey, I'm doing this. Somebody keep tabs, and we'll get going with it. But but they actually do have a nice
I
little
feel
app.
like you almost have to do this as a social media story. So
I would
you
need
got
like
your
a
story-
Zach
you
or
got your
Trev there, and
story,
they need to be like
and
hot
then it's
dog
like-
one, hot
yeah.
dog two. Do not
Yeah.
give that phone to me.
yeah, that's what you need. This needs to be
tweets.
documented.
It will be. I think it would have to be. How do we get to this? And then how do I get home? I have to walk up a high hill. That's going to be difficult. I'll
You're
just be
yakking
sleeping
for sure,
outside
man.
somewhere. There's my exercise.
Walking up the
Walking
hill?
home after.
Yeah.
I got to go up that steep hill. I'm going to burn everything off right there.
I can just you're gonna be yakking everything up.
Up the hill. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be wonderful. Let's qualify someone now for the VIP table to the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival, July 12th through the 14th, Kingsman Park. Friday, Andrew Schultz, Shane Gillis, completely sold out. That's what we're going to try to qualify you for right now. Saturday, Kevin Hart. Sunday, Burt Kreischer and Whitney Cummings. Tickets for those very limited. GreatOutdoorsComedyFestival.com for more information. Come enjoy some live comedy in a great outdoor setting. Beautiful views. You've got the downtown skyline, the ledge, the high-level bridge, the Walterdale, the sun setting, and you're laughing to some of the top comedians. Alley Cat, the official beer of the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival here in Edmonton. So you get to sit doing all of this with the 6 o'clocker lager and also with this VIP table. Speaking of ordering, coming to your table with your VIP table of 4, that's what you get to do. Scan the QR code on your table, order your food and drinks, and they deliver it right to you. So there you could do 9 hot dogs, 9 beers, if you really want to while laughing. If you want to get into this draw for the VIP table for 4 to the Friday showing, Andrew Schultz, Shane Gillis, which we will give away next Friday, what you have to do is text us hot dogs, the 780-218-9999. Text us hot dogs right now to 780-218-9999, and you will go into a draw for that qualifying opportunity next Friday to the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival here in Edmonton, July 12th through to the 14th.
It was fantastic. I went for Bill Burr last year, and wow, they put it together. They really do. It's easy to get in, and it's a great space. So there's some great viewing areas. You could set up, I guess with the VIP table, you won't need to do this, but people are setting up lawn chairs, and there's picnic tables and everything, and fantastic space. So it'll be a good time for sure. And I might even try and snag some tickets for the Sunday show. I like the Burt Kreischer one.
Is Burt Kreischer the guy that pulls your shirt off?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
the machine.
He's pretty funny.
Yeah, I like him.
Bunch of them were either at or part of the Tom Brady roast.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
Netflix, which is that's how good Trickstar has done in building this comedy festival. Maddie, 8 tall cans at the EST Classic ? Because I'm 100% down for this. I can't. I've got too much work that day to do things, so I don't think I could get away with doing just a bunch of drinking there. But if the boys would like to do that, maybe Belsey will do that.
What's that?
9 holes, 9 holes, 9 hot dogs.
No,
EST Classic.
not doing hot dogs. No, not a chance.
What could I get? What would you want to do if I did, let's say, 18 holes, 9 beers, 9 what? What would maybe tempt you?
maybe tempt me to get into that? Yeah, probably 9 tall boys and a couple of the.
Do you know what the ranch has? I think I would try this one. Taco in a bag.
Ooh, yeah, those are
Just in those small little Dorito bags.
Yeah.
I think I could do 9 of those through 18 holes.
And you get some green, like it's a little bit lighter, I feel like, right? Like, because taco in a bag, you get your, lettuce,
you got the-
whatever,
yeah.
onion, and all that stuff.
Some tomatoes in the salsa.
It's a taco in a bag. It would be lighter than a hot dog. That's my point of trying to get that. I think that would be much easier than
No
doing
bread,
that in hot
no
dogs.
carbs, or less carbs.
No.
Belsey does not like this. He doesn't like where this is going at all.
You guys are outrageous.
Hey,
I love it.
You're only young once.
This is true.
Like I
But
said-
passed that stage.
No, you're
I
not.
got gray hair, man.
You're not even. Yeah, I've seen him in the beard. It's looking really distinguished. I
It
like
really
it.
is. It's the kids. It's kids that I coached. Cause me stress in my life every day. Every single day.
I think
Now
the
it's
grays.
just gray
I
hair.
think the gray hairs look good.
Yep.
I think people that get the gray hairs, it's a very distinguished look, and it's one that I'm not worried about getting it. I think I'm slowly getting little ones in my sides. I'm actually excited for it that day that it comes. I don't mind the salt and pepper look. I think it looks very great on. Like it looks fantastic. I'm just worried about going bald one day. I do not want to be bald.
I'm
That's
right
fair.
there with you.
That's fair. It doesn't look like you're gonna go bald. Your head
No.
of hair is still, full.
Everyone says that,
Ish.
and I believe and they say what your mom's dad. That's the hair that goes. Both sides, both grandparents I had great heads of hair, so I should be fine. But it's just you never know.
It's right. You never know.
I don't want to be
But,
George Costanza.
No, and
I don't need to
get
sit down
that.
with someone who also then starts diagnosing what's happening and what I could turn into. And
Yep.
I don't think I would look good bald. Some people do. I don't think I'd be one.
Yeah, no, I get it. But yeah, the gray hair, stress, man. It's all stress. Stress from kids and coaching them and having to say things 4 million times and they still go, what? I explained this drill. Oh my God. I explained this drill. What day is it today? Wednesday?
Today's
So,
Wednesday.
So yesterday,
I know it's
explained this
it's
drill.
also wild.
I explained it 10 times in a row. Showed him it was like a power play game. So we had quadrants for certain people. You can move up and down, whatever. It's a 4-on-2 power play game. I explained it 10 times. And one kid comes up to me and goes, so can we move in the zone? It's like, oh my God. like, are you kidding me right now? And then another guy's like, what's the boundaries? And I said, okay, guys, I've had enough. I don't want another question. I'm skating off this ice if you continue. Look at the one kid he's with the Minnesota Wild's farm team. He came out and was skating with his brother, and he's looking at me just howling because I know him from OHA days. And he was the same. It's like they pull their brain out. They just throw it on the nightstand table, zip their head back up, and they go out from the day. This will be fun. Let's see what happens.
Now, how much of this is that you've shown that it gets to you, and now they're just poking? Now we got coach here, and we're poke.
Some days they do try to poke, but this was genuine. They had no idea. that's the one that's like, oh my guys, if you tried listening, it might help.
Well, the best is like if you are a player and you don't get a part of the drill and it's like, okay, guys, let's start. And you try and like, hey man, what are we doing? He doesn't know either. And it's just like, well,
Yeah, the guys that are drill busters, and they go right. Coach, we know what's going on, and then they go right to the start of the line, and the first moment they enter that drill, busted, and you have to blow down the whistle, and you're just staring at the guy. You're like, really? Get to the back of the line right now.
see what's going on.
At least watch what's going on first. Or it's the ones where I like these ones too. This one actually gets me every time. We'll be doing a drill for like 10 minutes. And it's been perfectly fine. And guys have gone multiple times. And after that 10 minutes goes by, even though you've done it 15 times in a row, you then mess up the drill because you don't know what you're doing. And I go, we've been doing this for 10 minutes. How did you mess that up? Oh, sorry, coach, you didn't know. Well, you did because you did it like 4 times just earlier perfectly. Sorry, coach. Okay, man. Sure.
It's like watching football, and you every so often you get that one player who just goes like didn't get the play at the huddle, and they go line, and you just can tell that like they don't know what they're doing out there.
No. It's so ridiculous. Like I could understand if you right out the gates, hey guys, do you have any questions? Yeah, I don't. Can you just explain it again? We'll talk about it. Sure, I got you. But don't say you got it. Do it right, and then somehow mess it up repeatedly after.
Well, you forgot something got in your
How
mind.
do you forget?
You don't have. I'm one of those. I could forget something. Short-term memory loss, whatever it is. You do something, then all of a sudden you think, oh, was I supposed to do it this way, or oh no, it's this way, and you think it's the other way. You
overthink it, right?
You overthink it. You overthink it. It happens.
Skate down the wall, stop at the red, get a puck, skate down, shoot it. How do you mess that up?
Because maybe it's.
No,
Get a puck.
there's no way you can mess that up.
Well, clearly they did.
They clearly did.
Maybe
Gray hair.
It does look good, though. It does look good. We just got a few more minutes left here on the Hangout for today. Gagers needed the address for Boston Pizza St. Albert, so he's on his way. So he will be there for noon with the Oilers stream. Overall, so what do we think will happen tomorrow for the Oilers game? Zach?
It'll be a hard-fought game once again. I feel like the Oilers are going to bring it physically. They're going to try and play like they did in Game 4. And, you know, they played, I think, 45 minutes. They let the game get away with from them a little bit towards the end of it. Of course, the Canucks tying it up. But Bouchard, the hero, 36 seconds left. I mean, it's going to be a hard battle. And especially at Rogers Arena in Vancouver, it's going to be that much harder with the fans there. And I want to see Pickard get the start once again. I don't think Skinner should get back in for the Oil unless something drastic happens, and just run it back, roll back the lines that you had on forward group. It would maybe be nice to see Carrick in there, but if not, oh well. And Soucy's going to be back in the lineup, so right, that's another defenseman. I think Julesen's going to come out. He made that misplay when he tried to lay the body, and he hit the guy, but then Ekholm forked the puck forward, and I don't know, that was kind of a defensive lapse in that one moment for the Canucks, but it'll be another heavy-hitting game, and I think it goes down to the wire. I'm feeling maybe in overtime, but it's too early to say.
I'm going to go 3-1 Oil. I'm not worried Soucy coming back in. He's made a couple errors. He's been solid for the most part, but I think the Oilers, just need to get back to what's made them really good, which they did last game, getting in on the forecheck because there's bigger defensemen. They're a little bit slower. You can cause turnovers. And hey, maybe that game-winning goal that Bouchard scored, maybe people noticed what Kane did and just say, hey, we're just going to start pressuring the Vancouver defense a lot more, getting on them, making it hard for them, consistently hit them, which allows for more turnovers. And if that's the case, I think you're going to carry the game, and I think it'll be 3-1. It'll be a good game, though.
I would like the Oilers' chances to close it out in Game 6 if they win tomorrow.
Yeah, I think they're going to win tomorrow.
It's the one thing that, and we've seen it in the series largely. There's momentum doesn't go game to game. So I'll be very intrigued to just see how the Canucks come out in this one, because I think that, to your point earlier, with the crowd going, I don't think they played their best yesterday overall. I think they weren't as crisp.
Yeah.
They could tighten things up. They could be a little bit better and sharper in certain ways. That's going to pose a challenge for the Oilers.
But I don't think the Oilers have been super sharp either.
Nope.
Over the course of the series. Like, Game 3, they were not sharp. Game 4, yeah, they were better, but I still don't think it's been
There was moments in the second period and stuff where, like, well, I would say later in the first period and the second, where some of the passes were off and they kind of got away from their game a little bit, but then they picked it back up again.
Yep.
But no, that's where, like, as they were down 2-1 and everyone is panicking in the city, it was, I think if you're Chris Knoblauch, you could still, even though you made the change in goal, look at the team and go, if we play our game, we're winning this hockey game. That's the message you can have, or win the series, I should say. That's the message he had in the locker room. And now after that, I think that's still the message that if you're Chris Knoblauch, we're the better team. We show up, we're winning this hockey game. You haven't shown up though through the first 2 games or 2 of the 3 games, and we've lost. This Canucks team will catch you. This Canucks team is good.
Yep.
And don't overlook them. But yeah, it'll be fascinating. I could see a split between 5 and 6. Like it just seems like 7 all over this series largely. I'd feel it'd be very difficult though to see that the 2 away teams winning 5 and 6 to force that game 7.
Yeah, I don't.
So
see
that's
that
where
happening. I think this is a game where if you can pull this one off, I think you solidify it in 6. But the Oilers have to play their best hockey, and if they can't play 45 minutes, they can't play 50, they can't play 55. They have to play 60 because you see that this Vancouver team does not quit, and they are good, and they are deep, and they'll keep coming at waves. And at some point, Petey is going to wake up, and if he does, now we got problems. So you got to try to put them away as quickly as you possibly can because you don't want their whole team to now be moving because now it's going to pose a lot bigger of a problem. So I think you have to stay physical on them because I think you've noticed once you pushed back, I don't think the Canucks really cared for it as much. JT Miller was not as aggressive on some of the top players because now all of a sudden he was getting hit. He was having to defend himself. He had 2 grizzly bears going after him every single time, and Desharnais and Nurse. And it wears on you. So if you can continue with that without taking penalties, here we go.
I do wonder if the Oilers, they'll bring that physicality again.
They have to.
Well, but sometimes this team, we sit there and be like, they're finally there. And then they don't do it the next game.
Yeah.
They just, for whatever reason, think we're good. We'll get back to just playing the other way and we're fine.
But it doesn't work for them.
It doesn't.
It actually, they have to play physical.
And they have the guys to do it.
And they do, yep. They have to have that sandpaper in their game because that's actually when they're their best. It backs teams off a little bit because they have guys that can do it. And then it allows McDavid, Draisaitl a little bit extra room because now guys are like, well, do I really want to go hit him because I might have to deal with these players. So all you need is a little bit extra room for McDavid and Draisaitl. Makes all the difference.
By the way, we saw Draisaitl again be just peak Draisaitl yesterday, which I love. When Lindholm said, "I'm coming for you," whatever, and then he went like, "Ooh, like ooh." I love Leon. Leon has the character, and he McDavid is the best player. Draisaitl needs to be out there in North America more in media. He's great in the media. He could be very well spoken, but he also could be snippy, and he could do things like that. And that yesterday just made me laugh when Lindholm's calling him out and he just mocks him basically like, I don't care.
Like he needs to, if he plays physical like the way he does, he's a difference maker. Like he really propels himself to be the guy. Like you see him on the forecheck. I think he ran over Dakota Joshua. Like Joshua didn't even want to get the puck. He just threw a forearm shiver at him, knocks him over, gets the puck. He's hard to knock off, especially when he's engaged. When he's engaged, conversation gets a lot closer. Who's the best player in the world is. Not saying it's changing. I'm just saying McDavid is the guy, but it closes.
Well, I will say this at the very least. Leon can go from, last year, you would say second best player in the world.
Yep.
But then a year like this where McKinnon has the year he has, Draisaitl a little off of what he was.
Yep.
Not saying he was bad this year, so I don't want to take that out of context, but a little off from last year. And also now you're saying, okay, well, he's a top 5 player in the world.
Yep.
Right? It's where he ranks in there. But when he's on fully, I will have that full argument that goes him and McKinnon, who's better.
Yep. It's not the truth.
And I'm not going to lie. I'm disappointed Colorado's not going to knock off the Stars because
the Stars are good.
I know, but I just love McKinnon, Makar, McDavid, Draisaitl going up against each other because to me, there's 4 of the best players in the game, period. And when you get them to have that rematch would have been just wonderful.
That Stars team's going to present all sorts of problems.
And Ottinger's playing well.
Yep.
He didn't last year in the playoffs. He had a bad first game this year in the playoffs, but you look at his numbers through these playoffs, and he's unreal again. And that team is then scary.
Yep.
They have nothing wrong with them.
Well, Wyatt Johnson is the 11th or 8th player or something to score 8 goals in the playoffs before his 21st birthday, I think it was. He just turned 21. Fantastic player. If that is a matchup to be, Dallas versus Edmonton, I mean, skill on both sides, and that Dallas Stars team is super deep. And then I guess on the Avalanche side, now that they don't have Valtteri Nichushkin, their leading goal scorer in the playoffs because of what he did, he's out again. So that, I guess, takes it away. I mean, they are down in the series. I think the Stars are going to come out on top. And be in
Even
that
with
third
him, the
round.
Stars are the better team. I think we've seen
yeah.
the series.
Yep.
You know, even Colorado had a nice comeback in game 1, but the Stars could have swept this series if they just figured out how their third period play a little better.
Yep. The Stars are scary.
Yeah.
Scary good.
Gents, thanks for coming in. Will, it was great having you here today. To Will, again, he's not watching, but Will Fraser, who was supposed to be in today, but he's off sick. I hope you get better. Again, you're not watching, so my messages of goodwill aren't getting to you. We'll hopefully have him in next week. Hello Hockey. So are you going to be on Hello Hockey on
No.
You're just off.
I'm off.
Good.
I told Tommy, I said, hey, like, let's be honest. I can be there for the show, but I'm not going to be there. I'm not going to be there.
Physically, you'll be there.
Physically.
Mentally, you're gone.
My soul will be.
You'll have had the
disappearing.
9 hot dogs and 9 beers, and you just can't do it.
Exactly.
So Hello Hockey 10 to noon this Saturday, which is Tommy. Maybe there'll be some text messages from Bells
I think
in there.
Tommy's going to bring in a guest.
Yeah, that's what Tommy usually does.
Yes.
And then Dave Pagnotta will be on and all that. Zach, thanks for filling in for the ill Will Fraser. And thank you for tuning in to the EST Angle presented by Two Hoots. Coming up next, it is the Lock Shop with Huss and P. Greg. They'll get you set for the PGA Championships this weekend. And then at noon, Boston Pizza, North St. Albert. It is the Oil Stream. Tom Gazzola, Joaquin Gage. They'll recap more Game 4, Oilers win over the Canucks, and preview Game 5 tomorrow, 8 o'clock out in Vancouver, which means the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show live from Hudson's West Edmonton Mall gets going 6:30 tomorrow right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. On behalf of Zach, Sean, I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning in to the EST Angle Lock Shop coming up in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go. There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here. Joining us today,